Hello, welcome to the Meow Madness. Me, Deadcat7, aka IceCat7, and Wildbill, as you know him.
What's up?
Playing some Halo 3. I hope the chat is working, everything's working. Hopefully Bill can give a sound check. What's going on here? My stamina is low. Is this... I have no idea. Avoid combat to regain stamina. We're going to be playing some Halo and chatting about...
Fine.
Yeah, we're
Audio's fine.
Cool. We're going to be talking about the usual stuff.
Alright, I've just got into the game now, so okay.
We never played this before. I never played this before either.
I've never played it before. But you're in, like, Wind City.
Nice. Well, we got Rick Perry in the chat already. Rick Perry's a hard man, or he's a hard man that looks a little bit like a woman. But that doesn't make him not hard.
What do you mean hard? What do you mean by hard?
Well, hardened by life, I guess.
He's always hard when he talks to you. What's
the story then? Because obviously you're not a Master Chief. You're not a. I think they're called Trojans.
I mean, I've never done the campaign on the 3 at all, so I don't. You know more than me on this.
You seem to be just some scumbag guy. Also, where are you?
Perhaps.
My chat disconnected again, and is that happening on your chat? Oh, there you are.
I'm in the game. Hold on, let me see.
Alright.
Yeah, it says chat disconnected and it reconnects.
That sucks, man. That really sucks. It's never done that before.
Yeah, but it seems to come back. I think it's just temporary.
Hey Rick, how did you enjoy Todd's stream last night? It's pretty good. It's not a bad comeback. I think Bill was checking out more Hall Maxer, Street Maxer, and...
I didn't watch Hall Maxer stream. I saw a bit of Dashboard.
Yeah, I saw you were in Dashboard. Oh look.
I did watch a little bit of Todd's stream. I didn't watch all of it. Some of it. I saw you were trying to get Dashboard and Todd to debate.
Yeah, I was trying to get them to debate because they were seriously, like, having a disagreement.
You're like stirring it up.
Todd is kind of like, he agrees kind of with the kind of stuff I agree with. He's more of a centralist when it comes to that thing. He agrees with
Todd, yeah, where he was like saying he agrees with like Ufi to an extent.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that part. It's a bit confusing.
What's going on here?
With his position.
It's funny, and you know who now hates Rick because Rick has become a fan.
I think I saw you say in the chat Reformed Stoic or something.
Yeah, Rick, you are now Reformed Stoic's enemy because you've gone to Todd, his sworn enemy.
Well, that hurts. Need to get more ammo. I just prefer the human weapons, but you have to...
Yeah, you have to use their weapons.
Because you can't get more ammo in Halo. It's been like that since the first game, hasn't it?
You have to pick up their weapons.
Yeah.
Hit with a grenade.
It's terrible, this.
Where do we have to go? Is this Horde mode? You haven't done...
I just did resume, right? It's not Horde mode, it's...
It looks a little bit like...
No, it's campaign. It's campaign.
I
Explore the city, find your ODST team.
Okay, good.
Campaign.
But it's not really telling us where we have to go. Which is not good. I mean, it's playing like it's Horde mode. A checkpoint done. What's our mission?
Well...
Explore the city, find your ODST team. What? What did it say there?
I don't know. Something's happening on mine.
We got a phone call.
Yeah. Are we done the checkpoint?
Yeah, well, I'm on the telephone. Okay, we got a map.
Yeah.
Right. So it's telling us where to go now. Okay, great. How? I can't get off the map. Close. Yeah, I'm pressing that.
Me, it was just escape. I don't know what it is on the gamepad.
That's not good. Why? It's forcing me to do the fucking tutorial. Rookie 6 hours after. Oh no, we're like little. Are we Trojan guys?
You have to go to the waypoint. I set a waypoint.
Oh my god, this is so annoying.
You still not get out of the map?
It's forcing me to do the whole tutorial. Oh, thank God for that. Yeah, Stoic was saying, like, Rick. He hates Rick for going to Todd, but he doesn't understand why Rick went to Todd because Stoic is way more of an intellectual or something. You know, everyone rants on about this game like it's really good.
Really? I've not heard that before.
Yeah, they
It's
do.
very small. The number 3 or just the ODST?
The OD.
This is a very small. I don't remember. It's like
Yeah, it's only
not much.
true.
I doubt this is long because it wasn't. It didn't take much to install it, does it?
You're right.
Not much.
So everyone goes on about this ODST as it's one of the best things ever. But it doesn't seem so great to me. But it seems alright. Route closed. Alright. So whose side were you on?
Doing inside.
Like Team Dashboard or Team Todd? Who do you think made more sense?
Well, I didn't watch all it. I don't.
Okay.
I'm trying to think what exactly the argument was about. It was you probably know more.
It
than
was
me.
basically
I didn't
like
watch all of their streams.
it was like what you would have thought. It was like basically like Chad theory versus Oofy Doofy theory.
I mean, Chad theory is non-existent, so I
Okay,
by default it'd have to be Oofy Doofy because
so you're team. They basically
have any
you're
truth to it.
team Dashboard
I
there.
don't even know if there is a Chad theory. I've not heard Chad theory before.
Chad
Obviously,
theory.
look,
Well, Chad theory is
like
exactly
Chad.
what you think it would be.
Yeah, well that's like the most absurd. Like that's more absurd than like just general looksism, isn't it? So
That it was basically the same thing, isn't it?
no, because I mean, of course, it depends who you ask in lookism, but lookism is just more about like saying, well, Chad theory is more like Chad worship. That's what it means, like specifically homing in on those sort of Chad do's. Whereas lookism is kind of saying that looks are advantageous and they're like the most important thing, but it's not like worshipping like the Chad dudes, right? Like I've not heard it like called Chad theory, unless you just mean looksism, in which case, alright. But Let's say looksism first, Sufi Doofy. Well, obviously, looksism is, my point of view, the more as well. But looksism to me seems to be less truthful, more absurd. Also, I'd critique it more, but just simply also because it's the more prevalent theory, right? So it's more people espousing lookism. So of course there's critiques I could have with some people when they take it too far, but more people champion lookism, right? So that's the propaganda that gets propagated more. And to me, it's harder to debunk, sort of in a weird way, it's harder to debunk if you do. It's easy to debunk looksism because looksism, true, it would just be very apparent. But when you start to see too many examples of which don't match up with it, then yeah, and also the studies, they claim looksism. So.
Use your
but I don't know, with Todd and Dashboard, because what Todd was saying I thought was quite reasonable, the part I caught, so it didn't sound like Todd was advocating for looksism. He was saying if it's true.
He says the same kind of thing I say, half and half, but he still says if you're a Chad, you get the women in easy. He says he has very similar views to me, to be honest. But man, we got to get them two to debate, man. That would be a fucking great debate.
Well, it depends on what version of Todd, because the thing with Todd is, because what Todd said, what I caught, because I didn't hear all of it unless he said earlier, the thing with Todd is that he will say something that's quite reasonable. I didn't really have much of a problem with the part I caught. He said that Oofy Doofy's true, but he just said that it's not, because he said he disagreed with Dashboard, because he don't see, unattractive guys with, hot women. That's what he said he drew the line on. That's reasonable. I don't have too much problem, because I do think, I'm not like someone with Oofy Doofy who thinks, all these Danny DeVito's lookalikes are getting, all supermodels. No, I think that's, wrong as well. But, so if Todd has that position, that's more reasonable. You don't forget, Todd, the problem is, though, he yo-yos.
Does he?
Flip-flops. Because he's remember I saw that Kev TV clip I told about where he had captured Todd saying that looks aren't really that important for him these days. So Todd has times when he,
what he does, he has his
downplays it.
He has his beliefs quite refined now. He'll say if you're not a Chad, you have to play the Oofy Doofy. You have to be the supplementer. You have to be controlled by the woman. Let her
10 seconds later, he'll say, "Well, it's all over. You might as well give up on life."
No, he hasn't said that for a long time.
He does. He flip-flops all the time. Even
he hasn't said that for a long time, though.
People were asking him stuff, and he'll go, "Well, if you're not this is the frustrating thing with Todd. It's he'll say it, and then it'll just.
I don't know, man. He hasn't. As far as I'm aware, he hasn't said that for a long time.
I caught it in that stream. Maybe you didn't see that part, but.
Well, he says if it's.
Because
if you don't have anything,
that's reasonable. I don't think that's bad. If he says consistent, that he acknowledges.
I think he is pretty consistent. I actually respect his consistency. Oh look, what happened?
I don't think he's consistent at all. That's my critique of Todd. That he goes from one I would say he has generally been more in the looksism camp. I mean, I don't think he's in the middle like you claim, but he has moments where he will acknowledge you. For the most part, he says looksism, right? But then occasionally he seems to scale it down a bit and be a bit more reasonable. But then he'll go to the absurd lengths of what people regularly use on GA stream, which is looks of everything in your whole life and everything's determined by looks, which is absurd, right? But this is where the brainwashing comes in. It's that propaganda. He has a moment of where he's thinking for himself, then he goes back to all the cliche talking points of lookism, proper doomer rotter types who oh, give up, bro, you're not Chad, it's over, you're never going to amount to anything, just give up, this pointless life. Although Todd himself says, if you're not getting a woman, life's pointless, which is silly.
I think Dashboard said that as well. Says that as well. I kind of say that as well.
Yeah, I could disagree with both of them on that. They both, that's something they do have in common. They both place all of their importance on whether they have a woman or not. That is something they have in common. Yeah.
Well, so do I, to be honest. But strictly speaking,
I think that's a silly viewpoint. I really disagree on that. Like, I'm not like that. I don't think you should like base your whole value around like a woman. I think firstly that's like demeaning to you, and also it's very harmful if you're like that. Because I think there's more to life than just women. Yeah, women are a big part of it naturally, but I don't think it should be everything. Like, you know, I mean, yeah.
So
of course that leads you to becoming like more of a simp, because again, if like women are everything, you're gonna simp, you're gonna place all your importance and all. Of course, if you're not doing well with women, then everything's like gone bad, right? Because you're like obsessed over one thing, and your life doesn't have any balance. Because ideally, you don't want to be like hyper focused on any one thing. But if you are, it doesn't even necessarily have to be women, right? You can be say like hyper obsessed over video games, for example, porn. I mean, it's not good, is it? If you place all your importance into one thing, you know.
strictly.
And also, even if you were to get a relationship, the problem is as well is that you will become like really needy because, like, if this woman's like the center of your attention because you place all this importance on women, then like it's life or death for you whether you lose this woman, isn't it?
I'm on my way.
And so yeah, I don't know. I don't. Yeah. But the three of you are all together, and that's fine. But I think it.
Alright, but strictly on the stuff from last night, you'd be more like Team Dashboard, I think. Oh, we got...
Probably, but I think
got
Todd
movement.
more reasonable than he normally is. But yeah, probably overall, yeah. I mean, again, I didn't catch all of the stream, so I don't know, like, if it was just that, if there were... Because it depends, right, what talking points or what they were talking about. But if it's just, like, straight up, if you first looks, and then, yeah, I'm going to be more Dashboard side. Even though I don't 100% agree with Dashboard on it, like, you know, I think maybe Dashboard takes it a bit too far when he's saying, like, Chads are going to be like incels or something like that, right? I mean, I think that's going too far the other way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're kind of moving... That's good.
I've always said that.
Have you?
You're making out this... Yes.
Really?
I'm trying not to get exaggerated, because I've said this to you many times.
Have you?
But
Alright.
this is why, like, I gave you the explanation if you do. You told me, oh, you explained if you do the best, because I said, like, if you do isn't necessarily just, like, all physique, right?
Yeah, that's
Like,
true.
you
I
can
guess
have a
you
good
have a
looking
point.
if you do you can have an ugly guy that's not an if you do, right? It's to do with your persona. The thing, because the funny thing is that if you do okay, it does push back against looksism, but I would say it pushes back most against the red pill. The red pill concept of you need to be the alpha, you need to be like this masculine dude in how you behave. Goofy Doofy actually says, well, no, you want to be a more effeminate, like, oh shit.
Oh, you died?
Non-threatening guy. It's because Goofy Doofy is to do with your behaviour. So, you know, being more feminine, not to be the masculine roles. And that's something that Todd definitely agreed on. I heard him say that. So, that you don't want to be like this masculine, dominant guy that you hear from mainly red pillars, right? Like, you know, you got a whole frame, bro. You got a toe, who the man? So Goofy Doofy, although, you know, looks at some guys, it pushes back against them. It pushes back the most against red pillars. You push that narrative, because you remember, like, Dashboard was involved a lot with the red pill. Like, he would regularly watch, like, Russia's side, Return of Kings. I think he said he wrote an article for them one time or so.
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah, he wrote one article.
So he turned, so as much as he doesn't like looks at them, he's pushing back a lot against that trope. You know, the PUAs, the red pillar types. You're gonna remember that Goofy Doofy isn't just like, it's not like Goofy Doofy was invented just to like smite looksism. No, in fact, it's worse. His worst enemy is the red pill. The exact opposite is like the red pills you promote. You gotta be alpha, bro. You gotta be the man. You gotta be the lead. That's what Goofy Doofy is like, pushes back the most against.
Hey, Sex Addict in the house. What's up, bro?
Oh, Sex Addict. Oh, hi, yeah.
Hey.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, hey guys. How you doing, man?
So, do you think there's any possibility of this debate happening? Because that, to me, would be epic, man.
It isn't it? Because Todd was saying for ages that he wanted to talk Dashboard. It was more like Dashboard, not, you know, one.
No, but Dashboard was in the chat literally last night saying like, okay.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's interesting because then it seemed like Todd was once, you know, it's like Todd had been moaning.
Maybe not last night, but I mean, with some planning, like, tell him in advance, you know, sort it all out. Make it happen,
He didn't seem
guys.
interested, did he? He He didn't seem that interested though.
Yeah, but if we pester him enough, man, maybe send him some shekels, whatever. You know.
Maybe, I don't know. You gotta remember that. I think when you realise this, as much as Todd says he's not bothered about people trolling, but you realise he does, because remember he had that stream where people were trolling, then after he's like, oh, I don't think I got people on again. So I think the problem is Todd doesn't like confrontation. So if Dashboard's coming in quite hot, like he was, then I think he's gonna back away from the debate. But if he feels it's more like gonna just be a general chit chat and not so like hostile, then he might chat to him. You know, I think he would, but. And like if you frame it like, oh, it's going to be a debate and he's going to show you up, and then I think Todd won't want to do it. Same thing with Formax, right? A lot of people wanted him when they were on good terms, or at least not when they hate each other.
Oh man.
A lot of people were like trying to push him in the chat, like put him on the spot, and he didn't like it. So
Yeah. Well.
But with Todd, you
No
have
one does.
You have to understand. You have to be a little like gentle if you're going to do that thing.
Well, yeah. That's the same as anything, you know.
It's a bit harder with Dashboard because Dashboard doesn't relent, so I
It's
don't
true,
probably
it's
won't
like-
happen. Well, you know what I mean?
No one likes being ambushed, I guess.
I think if you're trying to do that, you're going to be wasting your time. It's like herding cats. I think they're both too awkward in their personas to like sit down and be like, come on guys, just have a debate. Credit to you if you make it happen, but I doubt that you're going to be able to.
So you don't think it's going to happen? That's a shame.
No, I wouldn't feel that. If it does, great, but I don't think it would.
What does Sex Addict think about all this?
I don't know. Sex Addict, give us your thoughts. Because Sex Addict, he's a mod on Todd, right?
Yeah, I made him a mod. Why not?
I mean, he's a mod on Todd stream.
Yeah, probably. Well, he's a known guy, you know.
Yeah, I used to see him on Allmax's streams as well. We used to talk. Sex Addict, he gets around everywhere because I like to watch sometimes just for shits and giggles, like prank call channels.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure I've seen him in the chat there as well.
You're joking.
No, Sex Addict, I'm sure I have. He'll probably answer in the chat. Like prank calls. Are you liking this campaign?
It's alright.
Good. Alright.
Oh, also I got myself a sniper rifle. We've got a new guy in the chat. What's up, new guy?
Let's see.
Well, what's the new guy's thoughts on all this?
I'm sure they're going to be lovely and positive. Kev TV, he's always on the stream.
Oh yeah.
So you're your biggest fan?
Oh, guess.
Irony.
You know, like Reform Stoic, he unbanned me and everyone else. I think he finally understands that if he's serious about getting viewers, he can't be doing all this banning nonsense. And guess who banned me?
I haven't watched him in ages.
Yeah, well,
Reform Stoic, so I'm not. I
yeah,
don't
he's
know
pretty
what the hell
boring,
he
to be
talks
honest.
about.
But
So.
guess who banned me again immediately?
Kev TV.
Kev
Oh, is he a
TV.
mod?
He was a mod, and then I was like, what the fuck? He banned me again immediately. He didn't even give me another chance. So Reform Stoic fucking unmodded him and banned him. Well, I don't know if he banned him, but he definitely unmodded him. So Kev TV, man, you can't be doing that shit.
Oh, Kev TV.
Taking out his inkwell rage on other fucking guys, basically. Don't be doing that shit, bro.
Why do you two have a beef anyway? Like,
Well, he has a beef
like,
with everyone.
goodness.
He probably has to have a beef with you too.
Beef with me? I've always been alright. I don't think he has a beef with everyone. There's always a reason.
Everyone, honestly.
I noticed that, but then, you know, there's things he don't like. He obviously is a bit more of a traditionalist religious, so if you're gonna say he's gonna dislike you, right? But I don't know. It's been saying. I saw in Todd's chat someone, was it Dead Doom or someone? I saw someone was like trying to chat about you.
By the way, did you listen to that Doom's quick message before he deleted his channel again?
Because I didn't get around to it. I wasn't really gonna be bothered to watch it, and then I thought, okay, maybe I will watch it, and then it was gone when I tried to watch it.
Well,
that one's gone. Right.
Bob's your uncle or whatever. I have it.
Oh, you downloaded it? Is it because like you knew that maybe he would?
Yeah, I had a feeling. Yeah. I had some
you kind of knew already.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought, oh, and then I noticed, oh, the channel's gone. Oh, okay, so you already like thought one step ahead.
Yeah, he was just saying like, actually, he's saying he would have been interested in streaming with us, in like joining our stream, and then also he said actually.
So he wasn't mad. You remember?
He was. Well, he was kind of
crazy.
He was kind of insulting us as well. He was insulting you, like.
Insulting me? Wow. Okay,
yeah.
So he wasn't that cool.
But he said even though he was doing that, he was also saying he'd be interested in chatting on stream and also potentially meeting us in London somewhere.
Oh,
yeah, that'd be a bit crazy, yeah.
I don't know, because I mean, like, the guy's insulting, right?
Yeah. There was one thing he kept going on about that you said that he seems not able to forgive you for. Do you know?
I can hear you broke up.
There's one thing which he kept repeating.
What's that?
That he seemed unable to forgive you for. Do you know what that is?
What was it that triggered him? What was it that he did? Like?
You don't have any idea?
Is it, I don't know, we're talking about Todd? I don't know.
Yes, something to do with Todd, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, that's weird. I thought maybe it's something I said about him now, because obviously I never spoke about him before, but obviously because, you know, he's the way he was.
There was something you said regarding Todd that triggered him.
But if it's what I'll say what I think it is. I think because I remember I saw him like type to you or something. It just stands out in my mind. I'm guessing that is because in his words that I said that I Todd
That's it.
To me or something. I don't know.
You guessed right.
I don't know why you would get so triggered over that. But secondly, he doesn't. Maybe it's the autism. He doesn't understand the context of how I said it. Right? That I was joking. Like, it's not like that. I actually think God like mocks me physically. But what I was pointing at was that God can get dates from online, right? So if we're going by
past
strictly
recent
looks, I should be getting more
experience.
results. So I made like the kind of joke that, well, if Todd's getting better results than me, that means he mocks. But I'm being facetious. I'm not being
facetious.
He doesn't understand that, does he? It goes over his head. This is what I'm saying with his autism or whatever. Like, he's weird. Like, he just doesn't, and he keeps like bringing it up when it's like, I didn't even mean it literally, like you're trying to portray. It's like when we first had a little bit of argument when I like said Todd was average for his age, and then he couldn't understand the nuance of like me saying average for his age, and he kept going on and on and on. Oh, you mean Todd's average? And I was like, well, obviously not compared to like 20-year-olds, but like it's just maybe this is I don't know. Maybe this is something with like the autism. You just can't understand like nuance, right? Like subtleties like that go over their heads, and then they make like a big thing out of it. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's weird, isn't it? You can say, yeah, I can understand if I like insulted him, I called him like a dick or wanker or whatever, you know, like, and someone gets pissed off with that. But I mean, even if I wasn't joking, I meant it literally. That I think like Todd mocks me physically and stuff. Why would you get like so like vendetta against someone because of that? It's weird. It's like Todd's his boyfriend or something. I don't know. Why would you get so pissed off?
I mean, maybe.
I don't know, man. It's weird.
Noggin says violence is not the answer. Well, it can be argued that sometimes it is.
It's the answer in Halo, right?
I suppose. If there was a Halo type scenario, you would need to be violent, right? Oh shit.
Yeah, you gotta be careful, man. You don't want to get your channel deleted again. No advocation for violence on YouTube.
Yeah, no, but you can't get your channel deleted for that.
You might get more trouble than just your channel deleted, right? In the UK.
No, no. What did I say that was so bad?
I'm joking, it wasn't that bad, but you do have to be a little careful about that sort of thing, right? You see a lot of people like, oh, I disavow, I'm careful because, you know, advocating for violence will get you in trouble with the authorities. Just saying. We weren't doing it, but I'm just, even like, in this day and age, you have to be very careful, right? That's what you said you thought maybe on your channel before, because you had something about Jack Davidson, right?
Yeah.
Let's be careful.
So
you might get people like reporting and flagging and stuff like that.
What? You don't get your... Oh, of course.
Right.
No, I need to find health. Oh.
You just stood in the open and took it.
Yeah, well, yeah, I thought my shield would protect me, but I missed.
No, yeah, better did him, so that's weird that he would be like kind of really obviously still pissed off with me and
man.
and yeah, he's like, oh, I'll talk to you guys and just meet up. I think I'm gonna pass. I mean, no offense, but
well, he didn't say that. He said potentially in the, one day. He said he'd come on the stream first.
Maybe, but the thing is, he doesn't even show who he is, so like it seems a bit of a stretch. Then, oh yeah, I'll meet up with you guys.
He did delete his vlog soon afterwards.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And that's another one. Like he just flip flop. Like he seems unstable. You know, like how you could have Redfield can be a bit like that as well. Again, maybe it's all just where they just seem to like just spurg out and just. It's a dead demon, right? He'll be like maybe stable, and then all of a sudden he'll just go off the deep end. Yeah, not really people. Ironically, in the end, you want to be around, and all this obsession over looks when it's like, well, do you not think maybe your behaviour has anything to do with it? No, is this just a bit of a stretch? Is it? Just to maybe consider it?
I wish you could dash on this game.
That?
I wish you could dash on it. Like in Halo Reach, you can dash.
Oh yeah. Most modern games you can dash, right?
Yeah, it's really necessary, man.
You dropping all these modern weapons, the human weapons I keep picking up.
Probably the troopers, but yeah, I was using them.
Gee, this submachine gun's not great on the big ones. About meeting people, maybe you can go to Denmark and meet.
Oh yeah, I can meet. Well, I'm not going far from there soon. I'm going on another holiday.
Dutch room then. Go have a beer together.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that. No,
that would be something.
No,
you make it a short, and there's two of you. I'd be like,
holy shit, with it.
I'm like going insane.
See, it's ridiculous. There's no dash. I can't get away. It's stupid.
Bunny hop, I guess, is the only way to try and dodge their moves.
I wish Blue Skies Media would come back. Well, it'd be cool if he came back.
Yeah, I agree. That would be funny.
That'd be cool. He's a cool guy. Would you beat Todd up? No. Why would I? He's a friend of mine, so...
Is he asking you or me?
I think he's asking generally.
I don't know. I mean, Ice Cat likes him. I don't dislike Todd.
Yeah, well, I know you'd beat him up, but you wouldn't physically.
I don't even dislike him. Like I don't agree with his views, and I kind of have some pity that he's in the situation he is. But I don't dislike someone up. Especially not you. You're more of a fanboy.
Yeah, no. I'd go for a drink with the guy, and
so that's why I thought maybe it's directed towards me, because
I'd go with him to Tim Hortons.
I'm not a fan of Todd. You know.
I'd have a coffee with the guy, I'd go with him to Tim Hortons, and I'd have a coffee with him.
Oh yeah, I'd have no problem. Todd, I would. Hypothetically, I wouldn't have an issue. I don't think he's like. He'd be fine, just have a coffee with. Oh shit, I'm in the confined space with.
Oh yeah, you're gonna die as well, man.
Dark, I can't see where the hell to go. This is bullshit. Oh.
What have you done? Oh, you died.
Well, I went into a back room, and he.
Oh my god!
He
You gotta
me.
do all of that all over again. That's not good.
No, it says.
Is it? Oh, I don't know.
It said checkpoint done.
Okay. Chicken dinner in the chat. What's up, man?
Hello.
What's up? What's up?
Maybe I should get a sniper rifle. Didn't know, has he been in your chat before? I think he goes on various other streams, right? I recognise the name.
I'm saying if he got angry, there's nothing you do. He wouldn't get angry with me, so. I think that's a bit of a ridiculous situation.
Who's he asking? I'm just assuming he's asking. So you're saying would you defend yourself if he attacked you?
Yeah, if you would, yeah, I just defend myself against any man that attacks me. Of course I would, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you're not gonna just bend over and take it, are you?
Location.
I don't think so.
Almost there.
Oh right.
Well, maybe certain people in this community would, but generally that's not a good idea. You're only gonna encourage like people to bully you
Hang
more.
on,
So.
I'll be right there.
Too late. They spotted me.
Damn it, no! Veronica, talk to me. Don't move. I'm coming. You hear?
You wouldn't be able to do anything if Blue Skies Media started fighting you because very hard man, right? Like, he's a skilled fighter and
he'd get his
you
gang.
wouldn't stand a chance.
He'd get his.
It could be me and you together and we wouldn't stand a chance.
Well,
against him.
he'd get his gang member buddies to fucking do us in.
Yeah.
So you know.
You'd like grab us round the ankles, put us in an ankle lock. We wouldn't be able to do anything.
Well, I don't know. That's his style. He's a boxer. That's something. I'm trying to think. Who's?
But he's like 3'5", isn't he? These guys mean.
No, he's 5'8".
Oh, okay. He must have grown. I thought he was 3'5". No, I never trolled like Todd or like I wouldn't troll like Todd or like the Doomer, but I admit I trolled Blue Skies Media. I felt
I was like one of the only guys.
He's someone I felt was justified troll because he was like arrogant and like up himself. The same way I suppose people don't have so much sympathy for like Stoic because he's like has that abrasive so it's a bit more like okay, well, kind of deserve it in a way. People aren't gonna.
Yeah, but Blue Skies Media was like, he was a really good musician. I was the only guy that thought it, but I really.
But with Blue Skies Media, he was like one of the easiest to wind up as well.
Yeah.
Like, to make him just rage, it was so easy.
We got to do all this all over again, by the way.
He like banned me in his chat.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
It's hard. That's so funny. Todd, I saw a bit on Todd. He was saying like, "Where's Jason Hardwood?"
Who the hell's Jason Hardwood? Oh yeah, he's troll.
It's the guy that was trolling him.
Yeah.
What should I say? It was the old personality trolling him. Old account. Obviously, it wasn't an actual person.
Oh, what the hell's that? Oh right, it's that. Oh,
You just die. Nice.
I did. Don't mess with those kind of people, you gotta be careful. Yeah, I guess.
this guy's meeting her.
Probably.
Oh, he did. I remember he challenged me, he's like, come on, Wildbill. Come meet me. And I'm like, I'm in London. He's like, come now, see, you're pushing it now. Like, I'm in London.
Well, Todd dropped the address for him, and
Yeah, and then Blue Skies shut his pants.
yeah, but that's ridiculous, man. Man, what they should do is Stoic and Todd should have done this. They should have done what Boogie and Wings did. They literally planned it all out and got in the ring. What did you think?
It's in a lot of communities on YouTube. It's kind of the overdone thing, isn't it? Right? Like people fight, having like a boxing match or something like that.
And they both get mad fucking clout for that. So I'd do it.
Yeah.
Try some
I don't know how much, but yeah, definitely there would be interest with it. Banning, most people can't be bothered. Well, don't even think about it.
Well, I don't know. But
serious
what
about
did you
it,
think?
it's just-
Did you watch the Boogie versus Wings?
No.
You didn't?
No, I didn't.
Why? Like what? You weren't interested or?
I know who Boogie and Wings are because I've like heard. Probably some content I've watched and they.
You weren't
I've
interested
never
in
watched
watching
a
Boogie versus
I've never
Wings.
watched a Boogie or Wings like video. I don't follow them or anything. I just know that they're big fat guys, right? Who play video games. That's all I know.
You
And they
weren't.
will manage to build. Or
You
make
weren't
some money or
interested
build a
in
sizable
watching.
channel.
You weren't interested in watching them boxing each other.
I didn't even know they did.
Oh my god, man.
Yeah, no, I'm not like clued into.
But you're not
like,
really a fight fan. I noticed. I guess
like,
I am
I
more
don't
than
watch
most.
like a lot. No, yeah, that's true. I don't watch like a lot of it. I might watch the occasional boxing match.
Yeah.
But it's like Tyson Fury or someone.
Yeah, Tyson Fury.
No, I'm not a big.
Good.
No, I'm not a big
Good
like
fighter.
boxing fan or anything. No.
Okay.
Yeah. This is my sport content. It's tennis and football. So,
Tennis, all like Todd.
yeah, I'm into tennis as well. Like Todd. Yeah. Also football. That's my number one. But yeah, I do like tennis too. These ones are tanky as fuck.
Yeah, it's gonna be. We gotta take them
Man,
down.
man.
We don't want to do this all over again. Got one of them. One down, one to go.
That's alright. See, he needs to take out that sniper. He's down. There. There you go. There's one sniper though.
Good
Not
job.
more incoming.
What's
Right,
up?
right.
Wow. Fucking awesome, man. The amateur.
Jeez, that one's got like a rocket launcher.
There was piss all over the floor. Who the hell are we talking
No. Yeah, I don't know. That's in reference to.
Oh. Damn it.
Get killed by those snipers.
Yeah, I lost my shotgun.
Yeah, let's try and get them now. I'm down. You down? Shot.
in the boxing ring, there's piss all over the floor. I don't know. Well, there might be a bit of piss.
Which boxing ring's that?
Or like, I guess if you smash the guy in the gut, sometimes he pisses himself. Maybe.
It might be a previous opponent of Blue Sky's Meter pissed himself due to
Well, there's
being that
blood.
scared.
And like, there's
Pre-fight,
usually
you know.
blood. Like, especially in the
That's after the fight, but
Yeah,
yeah,
after
like
there's-
before the fight,
yeah.
he's that scared of facing a formidable opponent like Blue Sky's pissed him off.
I can't believe you weren't even interested in watching Boogie versus Wings, man.
Well, I never follow those two. I mean, I know they're locals, people like to make fun of them, but I've never really been interested in their content, so it didn't appeal to me. I'm trying to think if I've ever watched like those sort of celebrity, well, e-celebs, like boxing. The other one I was aware before,
Isn't-
I know there was one with like
Ice,
Andy Warski and something, but
Ice Poseidon, he's become a fighter as well.
I suppose no.
Oh, what about Jake Paul and Tyson Fury's cousin? What's he called? The guy that was on Love Island.
Yeah, I never watched it. No, I'm not into that sort of. I can't stand Jake Paul anyway. No.
But I think no, Jake Paul got beaten, right? The Fury,
I know,
Tommy
obviously,
Fury won.
You couldn't miss the publicity, so you knew they were fighting, but I don't know. I didn't follow it. They just sort of just switched off, ignored it, like.
Buck. Man, I just want that debate to happen. Like, I'd do anything to help, you know.
Oh yeah.
Donate whatever, like help
Well,
with organisation.
Now that's okay. Now, if you really want it to work and sorry to happen, Todd can probably be bought to do it. He probably has a price to do it. I will say that about him. Quite jury.
We'll see. We'll wait. We'll have to wait and see.
If you
I'd
pay
pay.
him,
I'd put
just
money
pay.
towards
Like
it.
he
No
plays
doubt
video
about
games,
it.
right? If you pay him. So.
If that is the case, I'd definitely put money towards it.
I think that would definitely, like, maybe nudge Todd in the direction, like, you know, if you say to him, look, if you debate Dashboard or, yeah, I think that can definitely make him do it. Dashboard, as long as Dashboard wants to do it, because he would be harder to sort of, like, talk with and agree to pay.
Well, he was
But
he was very up for doing it last night.
But whether it remains that way, you have to
Yeah,
see.
that's true. Yeah.
Because if not, I think it'll be hard. Like, for example, I think you can encourage Todd by saying, look, I'll pay you to do it, and I think Todd will be okay, you can talk with him, right? Dashboard's a bit more nebulous, right? He's a bit more like, if you were to say, Dashboard, can you do this and I'll pay you, Dashboard would be a bit more.
No, he's not
I
motivated.
don't know
by
if I
that.
trust this, right? So yeah, he won't be motivated like that. Todd, I think you can sway him on just paying him off. I'm not sure, like with Dashboard, he would need to generally want to do it. So yeah. As if you really want to do it, and of course I don't know what Todd's price would be. But, let's see. How am I following you? You took us the
I don't know. Apparently, it's here
Just look at the
somewhere.
map. Yeah, we're meant to be. It's in this room here. What does it say on the menu? Open crash drop pod. Okay, so we've got to open the drop pod.
I can't see any drop pods.
See a drop pod. Oh, here it is. Must be here. This thing here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, here it is. Yeah. That we need to open this.
Awesome. Cutscene.
Gotcha.
Deliverance of Davos. Holy shit.
Whoa.
Is it boss?
Could be. Looks so. Maybe not. It's not a very good boss.
The guy was like. Is Todd greedy? No, not particularly.
Well, he's self-admitted he's greedy.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say he's
There shouldn't be
particularly greedy.
shekels do anything for it.
You know who's greedy, or you don't know him, so another guy I watch.
What the heck was that?
A guy called
You
DSP.
ever seen one before?
trying to think if I've heard of it. TSP.
Probably not.
I don't know.
Oh, I get it. Permission to speak, smartass.
Or like guys like all the top YouTubers, they're usually greedy, right? Because that's how they win. It's a capitalistic world.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah, capitalism, definitely if you have a propensity for greed. Because this is what like leftists who argue against capitalism say, that like the model promotes greed, and those who get ahead are like have these I tend to be greedy, so yeah, I would agree with that. It gives you an advantage. It's like, for example, if you don't have a moral compass, you will have an advantage, right? If you don't show empathy to people, this is why, like, people in leadership, wasn't it? There's more of a correlation with sociopathic people, sociopaths, because if you don't have empathy for people, you're more willing to like shun people to get ahead, right? Don't feel bad about it. You'll like cut corners. You'll screw someone over to better yourself and not care if it's moral or if it's to the detriment of someone else. So yeah, it's definitely an advantage. Like in some ways, if you can be a sociopath, it will help you.
That's what I say. Yeah.
To succeed in life, to get success,
Like,
especially like monetary success, shall we say, or other areas like in the workplace. It can be very helpful to climb that corporate ladder, for example. That's why a lot of people, they say like in the corporate world, aren't they? They're like real arseholes. They're not nice people. They do well in the corporate world. They're very cutthroat, for example. They're not like caring people. They don't have any. It's like the Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, that's the example I always use.
Mindset, right?
Jordan,
you can't be soft. You can't be like caring about how is this negatively going to affect someone? They don't give a fuck. You know, like it makes people broke or whatever, destroys their life. I'm probably a bit too empathetic for my own good, if I'm honest.
Noggin says, no, food-wise. Is he greedy food-wise? No. In fact, he exercises very good self-discipline. Nowadays, especially.
But he has so much on his EBT, right? Like, he could just get whatever food he wants. He has more than enough. Surprised in many ways how generous it is. I didn't realise, like, obviously, what it's like, and at least from what Todd said, it's quite generous, EBT.
Yeah. Can we get in the car?
But that in some ways makes me more sympathetic to right-wingers who complain about benefits being too lenient. I can maybe understand their point of view when I see situations like Todd, when it's like, yeah, maybe the system gives a bit too much to some people.
Oh, come on, man. Todd deserves it with the life he's had.
I don't know. There's a lot of people who deserve stuff, right? You don't always get it, do you?
True. I think he deserves it, man.
I have sympathy for someone, say, for example, who, like, is struggling or is on the verge of being homeless and they're, like, working. Because there's plenty of people like that, right?
Are there?
So then it's what... Yeah, like people have to use food banks and that because even though they're working, they can barely keep a roof over their head. Yeah, and there's examples of people ended up being homeless and they're working, right?
Really?
Because their rents, because
I thought that was just an urban myth.
Housing costs are so high, aren't they? So if you're
but
like
the state will help
job,
them if they can't afford their housing. The state helps them.
Yeah, but not much. This is why like people get trapped on benefits, right? Because it's like if you work, you end up unless you're on like a good paying job, you're going to earn less. You lose out on a lot of benefits. It's like the worst financial position to be is where you're in a job that earns just enough above the threshold to be allowed that assistance.
It's ridiculous.
Right? Yeah, and that's why they say like generations of families get trapped on like these benefits, right, on the council estates. Because there's no incentive, and this is again the right-wing talking point against benefits because it takes away the incentive to work.
Yeah.
You know, if you can just sit on benefits, and that's the argument against obviously UBI as well. Is that if everyone just got UBI, then no one would want to work or anything. You know, everyone would become really lazy. So it's a little hard to answer, and I don't know where I stand because I stand between two. I don't like capitalism. See, I'm a bit more left wing when it comes to economics. Socially, I'm socially right wing, but economically left wing. But I do, but I'm not completely like I'm somewhere in the middle. I'm a bit undecided on certain things because I can understand the argument of what I just said. Right, that puts me more towards a right winger sort of view on the economy. It's hard, and this is why you get. So I've seen debates before where you get these really intellectual people, and not even they can. Let's be honest, it's like a stalemate. Like no one truly knows like the best way to deal with it. It's very hard to know what to do.
Well, Noggin is obviously a communist. Says nobody deserves anything. So I guess.
Yeah, I agree with that. No one does deserve anything.
Isn't that like the commie way of thinking? Like nobody deserves anything. You can't have anything. You know, everything is everyone's.
I don't know if that's necessarily strictly communism, but that's.
Oh, you right. Deserves, as in you can get it, but you have to earn it. That's what you mean.
Well, communism is more the state will provide.
So no, what you mean when you say nobody deserves anything? You mean you don't deserve it until you earn it, right? That's what.
Well, I guess I'm like, talking from a point of view that life's not fair, right? Like,
right.
No one.
Oh, I
that's
see.
Like
I understand.
right?
Yeah.
Like, that no one's like.
No one deserves a fair life, right?
Yeah, because that's where you get into morality, isn't it? It's like, do you actually deserve to? It's all like a virtue, isn't it? I mean, that's a whole like rabbit hole. You get many people like talking with philosophical discussions on that because it depends on your worldview, don't it? Like, if you're coming from a religious worldview, then that would be your guide. But if you're, say, like a nihilist, or you're, I can't remember the terms they use, but there's so many different. I mean, a lot of it's psychobabble, you could say, but there's so many different worldviews that people hold. Because I did used to watch some philosophy debates, and to be honest, it's intellectual wankery, a lot of it, to be honest. But yeah. And that's why I say like, do you deserve to have something? Well, depends, you know, what your measure is. Strictly, I would say inherently no, but I mean, it depends. You have to be specific. I would say it's probably because it's hard to answer that like 100%, right? If I do this or I work hard for you, do I deserve compensation for my labour? See, the communists will say, well, the workers are being exploited, right, by the managerial class, because what they're paying the workers is way under the labour output they provide. Capitalists will say that no, they're earning what their value is worth in the market. They were worth more than the market would auto-correct, and workers would have to be paid. That's, you know, in short, it's a lot more complex than that, but that's in short, that's kind of like the disagreement between people who side with capitalism over people who side with... It's not strictly, when there's debates, they don't say communists, they say like socialism. It's not a common thing. Communism is a lot more extreme viewpoint. I definitely don't agree with communism. Socialism I can understand and have sympathy with some points, but no, I'm against communism. Yeah, good. Like if you're going to be like a strict communist, like a Mao or a Stalin,
Stalin.
So that's like, right? No, I don't want that.
No, it's insane. Yeah. It's especially insane in like a country, like a Western multi-cultural country, which wouldn't work at all. I mean, it barely works in their countries.
What I will say is that if you want to talk about like what's going to happen in the future, I do think something's going to change away from capitalism as it is. I don't think we can carry on going down capitalism.
Well, it's going to become more socialist, and then I think communist will happen in the far, far future, though. When literally,
what you're going to get is you're going to get more people think, well, maybe we should turn communism.
Yeah, in the far future.
Well, I guess to say it simply, you know, like, say, like, imagine there's like a giant pie or cake, right? And the people at the top have had a bigger share of that cake, and what's happening is everyone else is fighting for scraps, like crumbs. It's going to get to the point where there's not even crumbs left. You know the game Monopoly, where the winner, in the end, has everything. exactly.
takes
And that's
all,
what we're
yeah.
seeing. You want to talk like
Well, that's
people
what we
say,
already
oh,
saw, yeah.
even if like Jack theories you say were true, I'm saying hypothetically, and the amount of sex they were like hoarding, say like women, it's nothing compared to the percentage of wealth, where it's like 1% have pretty much most of the wealth, right? Or I think it's like 50% or something, if I remember rightly. Like it's crazy the monopoly they have
Yeah, the
on
1
wealth.
percenters, yeah.
So what that's going to do is, because capitalism needs to find a way to curb that in a bit, because if it gets to the point where like the 1% has 90% of the wealth or something, or 95%, and everyone else is like in poverty, well, of course there's going to be uprisings, there'll be calls for a revolution, because they'll be like, well, look, this system ain't working for us, so fuck it. Maybe communism's going to doom us all to the gulag, but at this point we've got nothing to lose.
We're going the
So
wrong
I
way.
think you will see people maybe turn more towards something like that. Or it could go another way, it could be another system. It could be more towards, say, like fascism. It could go the other way, right? It don't necessarily be communism. There'll be many people, like you see with the alt-right, they're against capitalism, most of them. The alt-right, they don't like capitalism. There's one thing they can, like, have an agreement with the communists. The people who are very on the far right and the far left, they both would get rid of capitalism. It's more the people in between, the centrists, that is most in favour of the free market and capitalism.
Yeah.
If you're at the polar ends of the spectrum of the political scale, they both want to get rid of the status quo. They want like a big shift.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I can understand.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of if you want to bring into like black pill and like incels or people who are just doomers and don't have much purpose in life, I suppose people like on neat bucks wouldn't want to rock the boat because you don't know what's going to happen. You might not have neat bucks anymore, right? But other people maybe would enjoy the collapse. It's like, oh yeah, great, let's get rid of the system because I hate the system. I'm not really have any purpose in it. So let's burn it all down. You get that sort of viewpoint, don't you?
I suppose so, yeah. Well, we have to go this way, I guess, because there's nowhere else.
Oh, I checked the map. It's behind.
I know, but...
Let's see. Search. We need to go upstairs.
Yeah.
We got to search a lot of different things. It says. Yeah, where's the lift? There, I think. You search down that way. I'll search.
Alright, yeah, good idea. Oh, yeah, there's people here.
Oh,
Well, there was one person.
I'm getting
wait.
shot as well. Just checking the map. Maybe you don't need to kill this one guy.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough.
And it'll trigger it. I kill him, but I've not really got any guns that are effective at range. Hiding.
Oh, great.
Assault rifle's terrible in this game, isn't it?
It's not that good, no.
Yeah, it's like weak.
It's okay
Raised.
for taking out the little guys.
It does hardly any damage, and then it's terrible at range. No, that didn't do it. Killed him, but it's still.
Phone call. Fuck. Hello? Oh shit. Well, I think I know where we have to go anyway.
There's a few things to do, there's more than one. Oh, you did something.
Yeah.
You audio. I pressing play the audio.
When
It
to
doesn't
get
do
your
anything.
old
Alright,
number, please.
fair enough.
Here's my card. Scrap that. Trace it.
No.
Need coins. Magongo, if I don't get caught. Hell if I do. Let's go. Wait! Hold the doors, please! That was close.
Checkpoint. Well,
I think you're going the right way.
yeah, I think I am. Yeah.
It's really dark this level. I turn up the brightness.
Nice. I like
Like
it.
the dark areas, you can't see shit.
It has a real cyberpunk feel to it.
Yeah, futuristic city. I wouldn't really say like doesn't feel like cyberpunk, but just a futuristic.
It kind of feels cyberpunky to me. Well, yeah, well.
It's none of
futuristic.
like the fluorescent lighting, is it? That's
No.
like characteristic of cyberpunk.
Is it? Alright.
Neon lighting. Should I say.
Well, I suppose so, you're right.
And cyberpunk bases.
I
neon
just thought
lighting, that's where
cyberpunk-
you get like.
I just thought it meant in the near future. Well,
No, it has its own like. I'm trying to think what it exactly is, but it's its own aesthetic look, right?
Mm.
And it characterizes the neon lighting, like you would see late at night, say in Tokyo.
well, it came from Blade
or,
Runner. It came from the
Bangkok.
original Blade Runner film. That's where cyberpunk
Yeah.
was invented.
Yeah, and they had a lot of that,
Neon.
like the neon lighting, and
Yeah, like-
in Tokyo at night, you know, all the lights
Yeah,
on
yeah,
the
I get it.
streets and stuff. Because when you go to Southeast Asia, that's what it's like. That's what
Okay.
I like. It reminds me of
That's
a
cool.
cyberpunk thing.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's good then.
Well, fuck this, man. Should we quit this now? We can come back to it next time.
No, what we should
Alright.
do, we should have a round of the survival one.
Alright, but we can watch the video first. Oh, look, someone's here.
Yeah. Alright. The survival one was
It was fun, right?
last
It
time.
was fun.
Like as a death.
Yeah, it
You
was
can't
good.
get lost then either.
But we'll watch the video first, and then like we'll come back to it.
Okay, yeah, break it up. Yeah, that's fine.
Oh right, okay. We need to go all the way back now. Fuck this, man.
Yeah, on the waypoint, it's saying here the blue marker. I mean, the objectives are to search, so it's like the drop pod. You got to go up to things and interact. But unlike newer games, they don't highlight where you have to go exactly, right? But like old school
Not
games, you
exactly,
can interact with
no.
things, but they don't have like highlights or markers everywhere.
True.
Which in some ways I prefer, because I think new games have too much on the overlay.
Hmm.
So, like, say, you know, like Aliens, I turn off all the markers. for
Really?
everything. Yeah. I don't like it. But just minimal HUD.
You like to really immerse yourself.
Yeah, I think it looks better.
Well, fucking, I don't know where to go now, man. So should we quit this?
Yeah, we can quit it, react, and then is the survival mode. Survival mode's good. It's fun.
Alright, go ahead,
Challenge
quit.
it.
Go ahead and quit. I'm gonna get a drink. Ooh.
Oh, what? Someone shooting me? It was someone else.
Yeah,
there.
is that sniper that's up there?
Let me try and kill that person. Maybe that will. That's it. You know. Someone else shooting at me now. Ouch.
You there? Did you quit?
Oh, I was just trying to see if I could figure out where to go. Oh, I can come out of it. I'm just, it's, you know, it bugs you when you don't think where to go. So you hear that ping?
I do.
Where I need to go. I'm trying to work out.
No one said anything in the chat. We could potentially do this off stream, maybe, because
Yeah,
it's kind of boring.
Alright.
Yeah, maybe I wouldn't mind actually playing this game off stream.
Have we got a drop ship coming in?
What?
A ship above us. I don't know if it's reinforcements or not.
I don't know, man, but
Or if that was just scripted.
I think we should quit.
Yeah, okay, I've got it. Alright. Let's get out of it. Well, we're not finished the campaign yet. When you think how small the file was, I was thinking, okay, this is going to be like a 10-minute campaign.
I'm not sure what that file was like.
Yeah, maybe, you know, like how some games have the game files already on there.
Yeah. Alright, you ready?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck's sake. What's going on? That sucks. Alright.
I was looking at Sex Addict's messages from before. Yes, I love those soundboard prank calls though. So yeah, it was
Okay.
him in it. I thought I recognised the avatar. And he wishes that Alex, so he must mean Dashboard. Dashboard and Hormax got along still. They're both cut from the same cloth. Yeah, it is a bit of a shame because, you know, did you watch that talk between Hormax and Dashboard? They had like a
I
long
did. Awesome. It was, I really enjoyed it.
I thought it was really good, yeah. And I do think it's a bit harsh, like how Hormax bans Dashboard. Yeah, he had like this guy called Jord. He's like young guy, come on, and he seems to come from these drama.
Well, he gets bored
communities.
easily, I guess.
Yeah, but the thing is, when he called in this young guy, right, he was like trying to say Mog's Hormaxer because, okay, yeah, he is a decent, good-looking guy. He's early like 20s or something, right? And he was like saying he gets women. Of course, don't know for sure, but he's English, right? England like us, but he has that, you know, middle upper class vibe to him, which I don't like because he came across. He's very arrogant, and he was like, "Oh, I mog you, Hormax." He was really rude to him, and Hormaxer was like fuming. Like the stream after, but he's now like almost buddy with him. When I checked last stream, and it's like when Dashboard was on in the call with Hormaxer, 2 hours roughly they talked. He was really respectful. He didn't once like degrade Hormaxer or slag him off, you know, say any bad word to him, and he didn't say anything bad to the chat either. It's just yeah. The only thing I can think is because Dashboard has some very good points that critique Hormaxer's worldview that Hormaxer can't really answer. Like when Dashboard says,
Well, they're two very different guys.
yeah, like his
they're-
worldview, like
they're all-
Dashboard says, well, getting bigger is going to make you less attractive to women. Obviously, that goes completely in the face of Hormaxer and him taking steroids to get
Yeah,
bigger.
but Hormaxer is literally a Hormaxer. He wants to become a porn actor in the porn industry. It's like
yeah,
it's like
no,
that doesn't like Dashboard is a
It's not really
completely
a
different
Hormaxer,
guy.
though. I'm going to say as it is, he's not a Hormaxer. Because he doesn't get whores that often. Like, really,
He's
if you're a
trying to
person, you should be
fucking
regular.
get a position in the porn industry.
Yeah, I mean, you could say he's trying to be a porn maxer, but he's not a whore maxer. Like, because...
Well,
at
you
the end of
could
the day,
argue that is a Hormaxer because what's a better Hormaxer than a guy literally getting
No,
paid?
no, it's not because...
A guy that's literally getting paid to fuck whores. I mean, that's like the
Yeah, but
porn
that's
maxing.
not whoring. They're two different things. That's like being... Because a lot of people refer to, like, being a porn star as almost like an actor, right? Like, some porn stars are whores
To
as
me,
well,
it is
but
the
others
fucking
aren't,
whore
right?
max. It's the maximum whore maxing, man. It's to me.
Yeah, but
it
they're
is.
two different things. Like, a porn
To
star
me,
and a
that's
whore
not.
are two different things, right?
It's not. It's not. It's
No,
just one
no, they are
guy.
two different things.
One guy, a guy's paying, and the other guy, the guy is literally getting paid himself.
but,
Or
I'm saying,
he's doing
like,
it for free, maybe.
You know, like, a whore an escort, right? So a woman who selling sex for money, but she's not necessarily a porn star, and vice versa. A porn star is not necessarily a whore.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
They often overlap. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they do often overlap.
You can be a porn maxer, but you're not whoring, right? Same as if you're banning loads of whores in Pattaya, you're not a porn star, right? Like, but what I'm saying is, there's guys who are shagging like 3-4 different whores in various places in the world, like the red light areas, like whether it's Pattaya or Mexico or wherever. They're whore maxers where they're like hundreds of women they're going through. That's a whore max, okay?
Yeah, but that's still like.
But
when you compare,
he doesn't really do it that often. That's
yeah, but
and I understand if he can't afford it.
Yeah, he can't afford it. He needs to get. His
so
plan
what's
is
the
good.
solution? Is it to pump yourself full of more steroids?
No, his solution is doing what he's doing, trying to get a job in that industry.
Yeah, but
like that's the good solution,
for
man.
porn, sure, but the quickest way to be a whore maxer is to do what many other dudes are doing, and that's to earn more money. If you have money, you can.
Yeah,
have
but he
a lot
can't.
of
He tried that already. He tried his e-begging. It didn't work for him, you know. He has no choice. That he's got to do the porn maxing,
Yeah,
man.
but the solution should be the message, because the message should be to money max. Right? If you money max, you can whore max.
Well, he's trying to money max.
That's not what he says on his shows. He's actually against that sort. Yeah, like he will say, well, no, you don't want to focus on money, you want to focus on your body. That's his number one thing, which, if you're going to be a whore maxer, not necessarily, is it? Like, because the thing that restricts you with fucking more whores is money, right? Now, if you want to go into the porn industry and you want to be, like, try and do it without using money, yeah, okay, alright, get your body in shape and stuff, okay? But if you're going to be strictly a whore maxer, that's any money. Like, there's loads of fat, slob, obese dudes who are banning lots of whores. Right?
They have money.
You know, a whore is self-explanatory, isn't it? It's money. It's a transactional relationship, right?
Alright, yeah. Should we watch this video then? You ready?
Yeah, sure, go.
Alright, here we go.
Have to probably mute myself because it's behind,
Yeah,
isn't it?
I will, I'll pause it sporadically to chat.
Pause it and then you just gotta wait till I
Yeah,
realise
sure thing.
I'm mute.
Alright, here we go.
Alright, go.
On June 21st, 2022, I uploaded the video, The Rise of Incels, to my YouTube channel. What proceeded afterwards was an explosion of views, comments, and even reaction videos from some very notable creators. And through all of that, I was able to learn and expand my viewpoint on inceldom and how I probably should have approached the topic differently. So allow me to explain what I've misunderstood and gotten wrong about incels for a very long time now in this video. It had been a while since I had sat down and watched a movie on my projector, and I wanted to take some time to relax. After scrolling through a list of new movies I could potentially watch, I did what any person with common sense would do. I decided to choose a movie I've already seen before. The one that really stuck out in my mind that I realized I hadn't watched in a while now was the movie Chronicle from 2012. However, when I started watching this movie, what I took away from it, in comparison to the handful of other times I had watched it, was completely different. But before we get into how that movie helped better shape my understanding of incels, I first want to go over my first incel video and what I wish I could have changed or updated from it. So let's begin with the study that started it all. The 2018 General Social Survey that stated that 1/3 of men reported having no sex between the ages of 18 to 30.
For fuck's sake.
My first mistake was in thinking that everyone who is reporting that they are not having sex are incels. A person is only an incel if they aren't able to have sex despite trying to. Many people in this survey could have been voluntarily celibate and made the deliberate choice to not have sex. So for me to have immediately associated a rise in sexlessness with a rise in incels was a misinterpretation. Still though, that doesn't change the fact that less people between the ages of 18 to 30 are having sex, which one could then logically conclude means there are probably more incels because of it. And while that is most likely true, it turns out that this study's results are actually outdated. I assumed that after the pandemic hit, those numbers would just continue to rise after 2018, especially for young men, but this doesn't seem to be the case. In fact, if we take a look at the General Social Survey statistics from 2021, it appears that women are reporting that they are having less sex more than men now. This didn't seem right to me. If women are getting the sort of attention they are now, and they are able to have such a larger access to the dating pool on dating apps, then how could they be having less sex? Well, like most things in this realm of modern dating that we're trying to navigate, it's not that simple. Once I did some research into the data behind this study, I found that the sample size for this survey was very small. This data data was anomalous, meaning it deviated from the normal trend, probably due to the pandemic, and that the overall trend still shows unmarried young men having way less sex, and people can easily lie about how much sex they're having on these surveys. So yeah, one could argue that this 2021 data doesn't actually mean anything, and that this sexlessness problem is still mainly a male
Let's go back there.
lie about how much sex they're having.
So these infamous graphs, let's see what this guy found out about them. He says, the sample size for this survey is very small. The data is anomalous, meaning it's deviated from the normal trend due to the pandemic. This data was taken during the pandemic. The overall trend still shows unmarried young men having less sex. So that's going the kind of the doomer way. This is kind of going. And people, number three,
well,
people can easily lie.
Carried away here
Now this number three is bullshit
point,
to me.
Yeah, because you could say that at any point. Because if number 3 is true, then we can't trust any data at any point. Because people can always lie. You never know, right? So
Yeah.
you know, they were happy to accept that 2018 was correct. So suddenly you can't then say people are lying now for 2021. But I mean, the sample size. Well, I don't know. You'd have to compare it to 2018. I mean, to find that information. Because if it was very small,
It's the
yeah,
same.
sure,
It's saying
then
it's
that is gonna-
small. It was small in both of them because it's done by the same people.
Well, if it's small in both of them, then that means, yeah, both studies can be questionable.
Yeah, that's what he says. Both of them are
But-
questionable.
Yeah, but then that means.
But
then
the
what I would
interesting
say-
one that he says is 2, right? The overall trend.
Yeah, let me read it. Data was, I mean, it deviated from the normal trend, probably due to the pandemic, and that the overall trend still shows. The only thing I'd say is that, yeah, but it was harder to meet people during the pandemic. So, if anything, I personally would have expected the number of people not having sex to increase during the pandemic, because a lot of people, I mean, people who were very afraid of COVID, for example, didn't want to be around people. I should say CV-19, shouldn't say COVID. And so I would expect it, like, sexlessness to increase during that time. And also, the increase started in 2019 before the decrease for men and increase for women. If you look at the graph, it started in 2019, and even when the pandemic was easing, the trend continued. So I wouldn't. This is what I said before.
So you,
like,
when
some
he's,
people thought it was just. Some people say it was just like the effects of CV-19. I would say, well, no, because it started to change before. Like,
so what he
2019
says here, you don't agree with. The overall trend
Number
shows.
2, I would contest it, yeah, because if it was just like because of the effects of the pandemic, firstly, logically, so why would more people be mean? Because there was a lot of restrictions to meet people. People were fearful of catching the, so they didn't want to.
Do you want to hear my theory?
Yeah, go on.
So my theory is the pandemic stopped basically women from going out or women from socializing. Women literally had nothing to do, and in that rare scenario, they were more open to like guys coming in and doing stuff with guys just to basically ease some boredom, I guess. They didn't like it. But when the pandemic stopped, when it started opening up again, they were like, look, we had a bit of fun during the pandemic, but it's over now, you know.
Due to loneliness?
I think loneliness, you know, places shut down.
Obviously, women are not as motivated through sex, that's what I'm just thinking. Like,
yeah, they're not, but I mean...
Also, women were more afraid of the CV-19 than men, on average, because, you know, women are more prone to anxiety, health issues, you know, health anxiety, and women are generally more fearful. So women were the ones who bought into the narrative that CV-19 was this deadly, deadly plague, right? So, I don't know, I mean, I can't prove it either way, no one knows for sure, right? It's a hypothesis, yeah, I mean, okay, I would have to say it would be more maybe because people were lonely, they wanted that social cue. The only thing I'll say is, well, you know, would it necessarily mean that women specifically want to bang? And the other problem I have with that, but the trend started in 2019 and continued even after lockdowns had eased. Put it this way, if the data was just like it shot up in 2020 and then it seemed to reset more by like, you know, going into 2021 and 2022, then I could buy into your hypothesis a lot more, because it would be like, look, it was like just during the CV-19 lockdowns that made this like weird. But the fact that it started before and the fact it continued afterwards makes me think, there's something else going on here, like a general trend. What would be really fascinating is obviously to see the next one, because you know, then like if it goes back to what it was 2018 or further, then we can say okay, it was like a blip, an anomaly, and it was just okay. Now we're going back to, or we're heading towards Japan, where I think there's an incel problem in Japan. Like I've said to you before, their stats are crazy, right? They're far worse than the West, but
far worse. A little bit
I showed
worse.
you this before on the stream. It's far worse. It's like more than double. There's like 40-45%.
Okay.
It's way higher. Like,
Yeah, but
you can imagine if those numbers were in the West now,
but
there'll be meltdowns on channels.
60% of young guys don't have girlfriends in the West, man. That is...
Yeah, but that's a different issue. We're talking about sex. Like, there's
yeah,
two
but
different
it's
issues.
related,
Thing,
right? It's related. Same
well,
ballpark.
no, because the big increase has been due to like the thing that shot up was sex. Like,
but
people becoming
it didn't though. It didn't shoot up. It went up to like 30. It went from 30% incel to 20% incel. So I wouldn't say it shot up.
You know, like boiling the frog effect. If something increases or decreases slowly, like that's why they say boiling the frog, right? If you do it incrementally slowly, this is what people say with the social engineering. If you do it slowly, people don't notice.
I think
right?
you don't put
But
enough. You don't put enough
quickly,
You don't put enough importance on that 60% stat. That for me is an important stat, man.
No, because we've already gone over this.
I know, but we'll never agree. I know
it's
we'll never
flawed.
agree.
It's very flawed, Icecap, because like I
Is it?
said, like if you had a woman who's 29 and her boyfriend's 30, that's going to skew it because the boyfriend is not included in the
but how
sample
many of
because
them
he's
are that?
above 29
How many
and
of
there's
that
plenty
can be
of
explained
dudes who
by
are
that?
like dating a woman who's a couple of years older. It's
Is there?
and yes, of course. I mean, like you're saying that it's rare for like a 20-year. We're not talking like a 10, 20-year gap here. We're saying the problem is that any woman from say like 25, 26 upwards can easily have boyfriends in their 30s. Obviously, I mean that's common sense. Like a woman could be less than a year older than the dude is 30 because she turned. Sorry, the dude turned 30 and he was like half a year older. And then when they did the survey. This is the problem. There's going to be too many, and generally the trend is that guys are going to be older. There is sometimes like the woman's older, but that's much rarer. So of course that is going to skew the data. This is what like the guy who covered it when I saw the video, and I did mention this. He said, look, a lot of this is explained because like guys are generally older when they date. The other thing is that I think it's like there's more women identify as lesbians and stuff now in the younger generation.
Alright.
And I did hear in Dashboard said because he mentioned this, his explanation was that, and it's one I didn't mention, is that there's just more men. So he's saying like it's the demographic issue. So that's his.
Yeah, that's
you know,
that's
I think he said more lesbians than demographic. He actually didn't say it was because like older people. He's against that. He's like saying
Really?
like old.
Oh yeah, true. He is against that. You're right. He is against that.
He doesn't
yeah.
like that sort of.
He thinks it's the other way. He thinks now it's been turned back because the women are going for the younger guys. The older women, they're getting the young
I'm not
guys.
him say, but I don't know. Maybe he does. I've not heard him say. Maybe he does. And I've
he does say that.
I do know he doesn't like when people claim that because you know because he doesn't like
that's true. That's very very
like
true.
40-year-old men can get like 20-year-old women, but then I say that, but then he says something with like, oh, you doubt that I can get younger in Germany, so I don't know. I mean, again, is he?
Well, I guess
going,
he thinks he's going to be the one to buck the trend. I guess.
Yeah, but it is a flawed study because the problem is if you have a cutoff at an arbitrary age, like. You know, we're not. They didn't give a leeway. That's the problem. Like that's why I question. What I mean is now it may well be that sure there is still a gap, but it would be a lot closer. You know, you're not going to have like this. The reason why like there's a huge gap. Now that doesn't dismiss the fact that 60% of dudes, but there is one other caveat I want to add on to that, and I believe it was on the CNN. I think that was one of the videos. It wasn't one of the videos I was going to recommend tonight, but if I remember now, it was because we didn't talk or we didn't do a stream. It was that CNN covered this, but they said that what had their explanation greatly grown is that men are not seeking relationships. It said on the survey, 50 or 60, I don't know if it's 55% of men, roughly, aren't looking for a relationship. So they were saying that, look, what's happening is that men are just not wanting relationships. Men are not interested. You know, and this would go into the fact that I think there's some area that the sexes are being driven apart. Like women are not interested in men as much, but also men are kind of like, you know, going MGTOW.
Young
like
men.
who aren't in these communities, men who don't come to these communities. I'm not talking about actual MGTOW. I'm talking about men. Your normie guy who doesn't actually get with women, but he doesn't like like you said, like Todd, Dashboard, and your most important thing is to get a woman. Well, like I feel differently, right? You got to remember, there's a lot of normies who actually don't think like you do. Like they're not actually as bothered about it.
Yeah, but you had women in your 20s. You told me.
No, but I'm just giving an example now why, like, guys, because they're younger guys, right? Like, they're saying that over half of those guys aren't looking for relationships.
But when you're in your 30s, your testosterone naturally goes down, so it's fine
I'm
you
talking
saying
about,
that.
like, the survey, I'm saying the survey, the 66 or 60% of men.
That's
like,
young men.
dating,
Young men.
Yes, and over half of those men, roughly, or I think it was just over half, said they weren't looking for a relationship. So what the CNN were reporting, they're saying, why are men becoming less interested in being in a
they've given
relationship?
up. They've taken the black pill. That's what.
Well, no, because a lot of these guys aren't even in this group. What I'm saying
How do you know?
This is what I'm saying. Like, guys who are very thirsty for women, if they're not getting women, they will probably gravitate to the black pill because they're not happy. They'll be like, what the fuck's going on? Like, I really want a woman, okay? People more
But
with
the
your
black
mates
pill's
who said that's
mainstream
it's your most
nowadays.
important thing. But what I'm saying is, if you have more of a natural...
But
if you don't care so much about having women, and this is what they're explaining, men are less interested. If it's not so important to you, it doesn't bother you if you have it or not. It's like you say, if you lose your libido, you're not as bothered for sex.
No.
So
You're wrong, man. Because the black pill has gone mainstream today, so it kind of all ties together.
Yeah, but most people don't go into these communities.
They do. I mean, look at the numbers. Look at the numbers. Fucking. No, look at Wheat Waffles. Look at the fucking numbers he's got.
Are still.
His numbers are big,
he's
man.
one channel, but the numbers aren't even that big compared to mainstream
Pearl.
big channels.
Fucking
right?
pearly things
like,
blowing up. The black,
Sorry?
fresh and fit. No, the black pill's gone mainstream,
most people
man.
in these societies don't even know because
No, they
the reason
do,
why I
they
give an
do,
example,
man, they do.
like the political channels, they would get millions of views. Yet when they would go out in the real world, no one would know who they are because this is a very niche thing. The YouTube itself,
I don't think it's niche, man.
Millions and billions of people in one country, because you got to remember.
No,
that it's
because
the
another
countries.
clue that it's not niche is the vocabulary is starting to come out. Like, the big like PewDiePie and all the big YouTubers, streamers, they're starting to use the incel lingo, the black pill lingo, man. It's gone mainstream. I'm telling you, it's been mainstream. I think it's gone mainstream for a year or two.
The PewDiePie that he's doing like black pill mainstream lingo. I don't know.
He's using the lingo. He is.
I don't know.
Well, they're using incel as this.
Kind of blue pill, oblivious to this sort of stuff, even
No.
political stuff. Like,
No way.
political stuff,
No way,
very
man. No
popular
way.
on
No,
YouTube.
no, no way.
Your average normie is clueless to even.
No.
Like, this is
No,
why,
I
like,
don't
even
agree.
people in the political
If
side,
he's some like fucking living under a rock, or maybe he doesn't have an internet connection,
no,
some Luddite
you
or
just seem
something.
because the problem is you're biased because you live in this genre. Obviously, to people
No,
like
but
us,
I
yes,
know
of course.
because
But
I
you
go
have
out
to
and meet
understand that
guys. I chat with random guys in the real
You're
world.
on YouTube a lot. You're on
I
YouTube
am.
a lot. You're on the forums. You're on incel tiers.
I'm
like
also
people say.
out fucking
You are in
meeting
this
real
community
people.
A lot.
But
What
I'm also
saying
out
is
meeting real guys, man.
Most normies
I would say it's
are
about
invested-
50-50. I'd say 50 are red pills, 50 are like still in the blue pill. Maybe if I had to
People
give
don't even
give
hear
you
of
some
the pills.
leeway.
I think you're vastly overstating.
No,
like, the
I'm
reach.
not. I'm really
a
not.
lot of people, honestly, are just oblivious. They would laugh at the
They're
content.
not.
What is this?
They're not.
Like,
Look
I've
at-
never heard of it. And
look
you
at
would have to
TikToks.
explain everything to them. I
Who?
think you're just like you think. I'm saying like just an average normie. If you just go out and
No.
meet someone and you
No.
talk about
The
what you
average
talk
normie
about
guy
here,
knows
they
he
would-
may
they
not
would be
speak.
like, what the hell are you talking about, man?
He will feel
They
embarrassed to
don't
speak about it like we are, but he knows he knows what's up,
No,
man.
they honestly don't know.
They honestly
don't
do.
know.
I mean, what are you judging this on?
I'm
Who do you
saying,
speak
like,
to?
Your average person, you can talk to many individuals just randomly,
Really?
and they'll be like, "Oh, decide to talk about black pill or even red pill." That's more mainstream, red pill.
But
and they
what are you basing this
have
on?
a clue.
Have
They
you
will
actually
have a
done
clue.
this in real life?
Yes. People, like,
Who have
for
you-
example, say like there's people similar age or younger to me, like at the poker table. If I brought up a conversation on this, they would be oblivious to it. They'd be
Really?
like, "What? Really?"
But then you say
Yeah,
most of
I've
those
had
guys have wives and partners and girlfriends. You were showing me like the guy's wife and shit. It's like,
One
well,
guy I
obviously-
was talking with, one guy, yeah. Yeah, because I couldn't believe like he wasn't he didn't look good, right? Put it that way. And his girlfriend was wife.
Well, I
Yeah, she was
go,
alright.
you
She
know,
was
I go
nothing
to
special,
events and
but she
shit.
was alright.
I speak to guys there, and a lot. I'll be like, you know, oh man, it's. Have you noticed there's way more men here than women? And they're like, yeah,
You know
fucking.
what we can do, Ice Cat?
What?
If we go out,
Yeah, we can do. Yeah.
maybe we can do a little experiment and see.
I'm sure
just
we
out
can.
of interest, let's see how we can. I know it's obviously it's a small sum, but just out of interest, just randomly, just go.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I am really of the opinion, like in my interaction, like
I would say maybe it's
most
about
people
50-50.
don't know, like,
You would
you
say
know,
it's
I
like
just-
more like 80-20 maybe, Pareto
and I'm
ratio.
not like just critiquing the black pill or whatever. I'm saying like even political channels.
What would you
political
say?
papers,
What would you say? Percentage
you know.
red pilled or percentage blue pilled? You would say like 80-20, maybe today, young men.
Are you talking all genres of YouTube?
So
or
I'm
just a
talking like if
specific
you
genre?
went out to guys on the street and you were like, do you know what
like black pill?
do you know what an incel is? How many of them? What percentage do you think they'd say? Yeah, I know what that is.
Well, incel's been around before these communities.
Yeah.
Incel just means involuntary celibate, so that's
It's
just
gone
the word.
mainstream,
Like,
man. It's gone mainstream. They know,
but
man.
if you were to start to talk, do you know what black pill terms are? Do you know what like a high tier norm is? Do you know what a Chad is? Do you know this, and that? Then
They know what a Chad is, man. They definitely know what a Chad. That and again, it's a good clue that that word has gone mainstream in the mainstream media, the mainstream fucking streamers.
I don't know if a lot of people. I'll start trying it actually. I'll start saying to people, do you
It's
know what
gone. It's
Chad
trust
is?
me.
But
It's
I'm not-
gone
I'm not
mainstream.
sure.
It has.
But
It
I
has.
think if the more like obviously in a word like incel, because that's involuntary celibate, that's like I think even if I asked my parents, they would know that. But like I don't think you need to be on YouTube to learn that. But I don't know. Definitely, they don't know of these communities. That's what I'm saying. Like they don't know what
I
WoW
don't
is.
know,
Like
man. I
the community around
think
Luxism, for
you
example.
you could be surprised, man.
Or face rings. That'd be a good one. Do you know that like people are paying for face rings and stuff? I would say the majority of people, like random people you're talking to, normies, quote unquote, would be what really? They'd probably laugh at it. They'd be like, what really? People are paying like to face rings? Like, find it bizarre. They just never heard of it, and it's not
Oh, no,
because
man.
these are like Chads or whatever. They could be anyone. It could be an ugly dude, an average dude. Just they're not in their communities. I think you have to understand that people like we obviously had an interest in this, and that's why we're in this community, right? Because we're spending our time talking, thinking, whatever. A lot of normies don't.
No,
Maybe
I
they're obsessed with
disagree.
video
The
games,
normies,
or maybe they're
the young
obsessed with
normies
TV.
of 2023. Then I always say like the black pill has gone mainstream. I've been saying it
They're
actually for a
probably
couple of
watching,
years.
like TV shows, because I don't watch TV shows, but they're wasting
Yeah.
their work. They have a 9 to 5,
Hollyoaks
they have a
literally
9 to
did.
5, and they come
You know
back
the
and
TV show Hollyoaks, and we saw it on my stream. Hollyoaks literally did a storyline on the incel community, the black pill community online. I mean, you can't get much of a bigger clue of that,
I mean,
man.
incel's gone mainstream because obviously stuff like
It was black pill.
Elliot
It wasn't just
Rodgill.
incel. It was proper black pill storyline.
I think it was wasn't it just like saying incel?
No,
though?
it wasn't. It was proper black.
Oh,
It's like the
no.
black pill.
I'm trying
You
to
take the
remember.
black pill and shit. Honestly,
Yeah, but
Bill,
it
I
was-
think you've
it was a
underestimated
very-
this. I think you've
Yeah, but
underestimated
but
the.
hold on now, because let's see what the perception was. It was a very unflattering perception. It was like these guys are like shooters, and that's what it's pointing to. These guys are psychos. It was
Yeah.
not like going into the actual. I would say
Of
it's a very
course.
unfair reflection. It
Of
wasn't going
course.
into the black
That's how it
pill.
begins.
It would be like, yeah, but your average person is not interested in that because they think that this is just like a bunch of psychos. They're not going to be
Oh,
there
man,
because
I
that's the
dunno.
perception.
I
people
think
have of
you-
incel.
you-
That's why
You've
incel is
misjudged
used.
this one, Bill. Anyway, let's get on. We could argue forever,
No,
man.
I'm not misjudging it at all. I think incel
think-
is used as a derogatory term in the
So
mainstream.
you agree that
Which is why
it's gone mainstream, the word?
I never said the word incel hadn't gone mainstream. I'm saying
about black
these
pill?
black pill like communities like Wheat Waffles, you're not getting the average normie sitting here watching this content. That's my claim.
I think you'd be
I don't
surprised,
dispute
man.
the fact they know about Elliot Rodger, they know about like incel shooters, they know, but they know it in a very negative way. That's why a lot of
Yeah, negative out in public, behind closed doors. They're watching that shit. They're fucking learning that shit. You know what
I
I'm
don't
saying?
think so. I mean, a lot of these will be unfair to incels and communities, and even us, because they don't watch it, they don't have any idea, and they think we're all just like psychopathic
I disagree,
killers.
man.
They will have
I
a very-
disagree.
unfair because they don't look into the community.
I
Because when you
disagree.
look
I
into it,
think
yes, there is like
the
people who are quite
normie
messed up.
knows more than what guys like you believe. I
They
give the normie
definitely
credit.
Do not, like,
I
because
believe they
if
do.
it was like most people watching this content, well, one, the view numbers would be a
No.
lot higher.
No. Like I said, Wheat Waffles.
Well, unless you believe in Dashball's theory that there's not many people in the world.
Well, that I'm open to that
That's the
theory.
only other explanation.
I'm
Because
open to
otherwise,
that
no,
theory.
the numbers just aren't there, are they? You can
Well,
look,
the numbers
you can
are
look at
there.
the
Wheat Waffles, Fresh and
It's
Fit,
nothing views.
Pearly
It's
Things,
nothing views.
Alex PUA,
It's not
Alex
mainstream.
PWF.
I'm not talking like
The numbers are there.
I'm
Trust
talking
me.
like
The numbers are there,
10.
bruh.
PWF, you gotta be kidding me. Even Hallmax laughs at his numbers. I mean, come on now.
Wheat Waffles. You can't laugh at Wheat Waffles numbers. You
Wheat
cannot
Waffles is
do it.
by far the biggest, and he doesn't
No,
get a main views. I'll
Fresh
go to
and
channel
Fit.
now. Let's see
Pearly
what
Things,
his-
King Riches. You can. I mean, they're
Remember,
all blowing up, man.
Wheat
Like,
Waffles' audience is from all different countries, and he's not even had one video that's hit 1 million. He's not even had a viral video. You get cat videos with 20, 30 million views.
Doesn't matter.
Like, seriously, come on now. It's not
No,
to
it's
the
big.
level
To
you're
me,
saying.
it's big.
His highest video is 789,000. Not even 1 million. And that's his most popular one. That was a year ago.
798,000.
789,000 views. That's not
That's
even
a lot,
million.
man.
That's not... That's
That
not,
is a lot.
A viral
I'm
video,
sorry, that's a
viral
lot.
video
That's a fucking lot, man.
for this community, I agree, but not in general.
In general,
So a
I
viral
think it's a
video-
lot.
Viral videos are normally said a million plus, so it's not even technically a viral video.
It's a lot, man. To me, it's a lot.
Like I said, you get many silly little videos that have got like millions of views, 10, 20, 30 million. Like, that's something that's really gone like viral, right? And this is even just viral to YouTube. Again, not everyone is on YouTube.
Alright, what about
Like,
normies
you know,
like,
it's the thing.
I think his name's Chris Williamson, the guy that was on Love Island. He's starting to talk about it. Other guys starting to talk about it. Like freaking
Chris
Piers
Williams.
Morgan,
Oh, I
Andrew
don't know what he
Tate.
said.
Andrew Tate was the most famous man in the world at one point, you know, for a short time.
Yeah, but is
I
that
can
Andrew
make-
Tate's not black
yes.
though, is he?
He talked about Black Hill
Definitely
and
not.
it's
I mean, a lot of people don't. No, he's not
talked
black
about
though.
it.
Now you're moving the goalposts.
No,
Now
I'm
you're
not
gonna say,
moving
like,
it.
Like any, like a dating
I'm not, it's
coach.
related,
No.
same
I mean,
ballpark.
then now
Same
you're going to probably
ballpark.
say like Tom Likas. Well, Tom
Who's
Likas
that?
was pretty mainstream. I see. Well, you don't even know, and he
Wait,
was mainstream.
Is he the radio
Tom
DJ?
Likas.
He's the radio DJ.
Yeah, he was
Yeah,
like.
he's good. Yeah, so he was one of the pioneers.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
But
He was
he's
definitely
not
a
this
pioneer.
community. You're really now. You're saying
No,
it's
I
like
think
any
you are,
dating
man.
advice.
I think you are. I think you're really
Tom Likas is
underestimating the fucking
nothing
impact
like
that's been going
You're
on the
comparing
last few years. I think you've underestimated it big
Waffles
time.
To Tom Likas, they're like chalk and cheese. It's
Are they?
completely different. It's not the same thing.
Really?
No. Dating coaches have been around for a long time, but it's
The
we're not
dating
talking
coaches
about,
were they were part of the pioneer
even though he's not
the
a dating
pioneering
coach, but
culture.
Tom Likas is kind of like the first. You know when like P-Wave started in the 90s, innit?
Some yeah, well the guy Ross Jeffries would argue in the late 80s, but should we watch the rest of the
yeah,
video?
I mean that's been around a long time. Yeah, sure, yeah.
Alright.
Sidetrack.
Alright, jeez, yeah, big time. Alright.
having on these surveys. So yeah, one could argue that this 2021 data doesn't actually mean anything and that this sexlessness problem is still mainly a male issue, but that's not even what I'm trying to get you to take away from this back and forth of trends. The point I am trying to make is that there's almost always way more variables that contribute to data studies like this than we see on the surface. I decided to blindly accept the data from the original video without questioning it, when what I should have done is a little more research into the statistics behind the situation. We tend to take studies and statistics at their face value because it is infinitely less difficult to accept what we are presented with on the internet rather than try to find information that might go against it. And that's what I should have done in the first place before I decided to use this data. The same goes for a lot of other statistics that I showed. I found from one source that only 13% of adults in the United States had used Tinder, but if we look at a more recent survey that takes into account all dating apps, it shows that 53% of all people in the US ages 18 to 29 have used a dating app at one point. That is a much more significant percentage.
The Tex-Mexan, part of the new Subway series menu. There's a new way to Subway.
Another study I showed had me make the claim that even if you are under 5'5", you still have around 50% of women that would be willing to date you, but most other studies showed that isn't really the case. Women are most satisfied with their partner when he's at least 8 inches taller than her, and another study showed that only 4% of women would accept a relationship where the man is shorter than her. So it almost always takes a more thorough investigation of these studies and exploring their opposite counterparts to get the clearest picture of what is going on. And even then the answer is almost never complete because still, like I stated in that first video, I see a lot of these anomalies in real life where there are men who are just as tall or just an inch taller than their girlfriends, and obviously they still are in a relationship. Also, if anyone has any sort of explanation as to why women are now having less sex than men, I'd love to hear your opinions on that in the comments below. The next part of this video, and probably the one I'm least proud of, is when I said this. How much of these men's assumptions are based on fact, and how much of it is men projecting their trauma as a way to cope with the fact that they're fat, lazy, and socially awkward? I honestly think that that statement alone is responsible for like 2,000 of the 4,000 dislikes on that video. Starting off that video with that sort of vibe was one of the worst things I could do. Because that quickly, I'm questioning the stance of a group of people who already feel heavily misunderstood. So for me to just undermine their problems, even if that statement has some truth to it, and I'll explain why that is later in the video, it makes them instantly turned off from considering the rest of what I presented in the video. And in this way, I feel like I made much less of an impact than I potentially could have had I said something like how much of their pleas are valid and how much of their pleas are worth challenging. That is a much less aggressive way of putting it. The fact of the matter is, this whole incel problem, just like the studies of sexlessness, is much more complicated than men simply just being too fat and lazy to get a girlfriend. And those of us who don't have the best understanding of incels need to approach this with that frame of mind instead of just personally attacking them as if it's entirely their fault. Lastly, I want to review this point that I continued emphasizing throughout the video. The fact that these dating apps, statistics, and comments from people in spaces like the Black Pill community are not real life. Not only do I think this is somewhat wrong, but I also think that I contradicted myself on this point in this video. If you've watched my video on Gen Z, you'll know I explained the idea of hyperreality, which is a philosophical concept that states that the things that represent reality start to become more real than reality itself. I don't know why my train of thought was this way when writing the script to the incels video, but if young people are spending half of their waking hours in the online realm, as I said they were, then the conceptions and beliefs that they consume online will inevitably start seeping into reality. In fact, I even argued this in the actual video, and I still said that the online world was not real life. My generation was probably the last one where we at least had a childhood and some teenage years without a smartphone. But now, the virtual world makes the real world go round. And sure, it isn't completely real life, and a lot of social media is an overly dramatized version of it, but it is starting to affect real life significantly the more that people adopt these technologies and spend more hours on them. So, do I regret making that video? No, I don't, but I wish I would have reviewed that script a little more in depth and challenged the studies that I presented before I presented them. Now, there's just one thing left to do, and hopefully it will give everyone watching this video a better understanding of where the root of this stereotypical incel problem really lies, at least most of the time. Also, little warning for the video ahead, I will be revealing minor spoilers for this movie. As I continued to watch Chronicle, the life of the main character, Andrew, felt eerily similar to stories of many people who have shared their traumatic experiences both in my comment section and on the rest of the internet. Andrew Detmer is a 17-year-old high school student who starts to film everything that goes on in his day-to-day life. Throughout the start of the movie, we get to know more and more about him. He grows up in a household where his mother is very sick and his dad struggles to pay for his wife's medical treatment. The dad, Richard Detmer, got injured while working as a firefighter and was forced to retire as a result. To handle this, his dad decides to drink a lot and takes out his frustrations with the current state of his life on his son. So it's safe to say that Andrew's home life is anything but healthy. We then get to peer into his social life through the lens of his camera. His cousin, Matt, is the only person he can call a friend, and even then, it seems like the feelings aren't exactly mutual.
I'm filming things now. I'm filming everything.
Filming everything. Yeah. Okay.
At school, this lack of social support continues. He's bullied for being an awkward outcast who doesn't fit in, and instead of showing him sympathy, all the bystanders do is look and laugh. That same night, Andrew's cousin invites him to an outdoor rave party, and while he is sitting outside, he gets approached by one of the most popular guys in school, Steve Montgomery. Steve tells him to bring his camera to this spot that him and Andrew's cousin found, and once they go into this cave-like structure, they end up coming out of it with superpowers. As the story goes on, things start to slowly get better for Andrew. Because of the superpowers that only he, Steve, and his cousin possess, they end up developing a strong bond with each other, and Andrew starts to feel like he has genuine friends for the very first time in his life. However, like every other movie, things end up going wrong for him, with the most relevant being that he has a chance alone with a girl, but messes it up because he's too drunk. And after that singular event, which makes everyone in the school who went to that party hate him again, he is reminded of what has defined his life up until that point. A complete lack of love and affection from his parents, an abusive father, no social support system, and a world that constantly mocks him for having gone through it all and misunderstanding him. As I was scrolling through the comments on my first incel video, there was one in particular that stood out to me. It said, "As a female adult virgin, I despise men who act like they're victims because they can't get laid. Absolutely despise. Nobody is owed sex at all." And I would have to agree with the statement that nobody is owed sex. But it was what was said in the replies that helped me formulate the point that I'm trying to get across by telling you all about this movie. It's more complicated than that. There's two types of incels. There are the entitled pricks with psychotic and violent tendencies. Then there's shy men who have been hurt by others in some way and never had the support system to move past their pain and overcome anxiety. 6 out of 10 incels fall into this category. These kinds of incels don't even want just sex. They'd like to know what it's like to be seen, appreciated, and loved. To expand upon this comment, I actually think that the two types of incels that this person is describing here both stem from what they explained in the second point. One of the only reasons the entitled pricks with psychotic and violent tendencies come to be in this world is because they've been hurt by others in some way and have almost never had a support system to help them in times of need. And their way of dealing with that pain and trauma is become violent, angry, and entitled. The bottom line is, if we were to look at the story behind almost every incel, instead of just call them an incel, insult them, and only reinforce their trauma, you'd more than likely see a story that's very similar to the character of Andrew Detmer. Now, I'm not trying to excuse shitty behavior. People do need to be held accountable for their actions. But what I think we all need to start doing more of is employing empathy to help incels get what they really have wanted for their entire lives, which is some appreciation, love, and validation. If we really want to stop this trend of the stereotypical incel from increasing, it's not just about fixing the modern dating market, which is absolutely skewed and disproportionately favored towards the top 20% of attractive people. It's also to help people not become so angry, depressed, and sad with this fact in the first place, so that they don't eventually turn into the stereotypical incel. And we can do that by showing them that they are worth being loved even if they don't have a romantic partner, or their whole life up until that point has reinforced the belief that they are a useless, ugly human. This might sound ridiculous to a lot of you, and a lot of you might think that you can't get through to these people, but it's actually a lot simpler than you might think. Not too long after I posted my first incel video, I got a DM from someone who watched the video who was clearly very angry and upset about how I decided to frame what he probably identifies as. His message was hostile, talking about how much of an idiot I was for thinking these certain statistics were true, and he explained to me what he's had to deal with. Instead of just mocking him and returning the energy, I decided to meet him with understanding. I told him that, yes, I feel I came off as too aggressive in that video, and that there were some things I wish I could have changed, and I thanked him for his feedback. Can you guess what happened in the next message? His hostility was completely gone, and he said that he agreed with me on some things, and that he understands if that's how I wanted to come across. By listening to him, thanking him for his feedback, and telling him, I feel you, his attitude towards me completely changed. Because that's really what the majority of these guys actually want. I honestly think that the whole image of incels has been messed up by a select few of them who reside on the internet or other lonely places, kind of like this dude, and that most of them can actually be pretty cool once you get to know them. So what's the solution to this rise in incels? If these trends keep continuing to rise, then I think we're only going to see more and more people identify as an incel. Do I think these people should not assume any sort of responsibility or accountability and just play the victim? Absolutely not. I think it's in everyone's power to establish a sense of agency over their life and improve their current state of being. And they shouldn't necessarily do that to improve their chances of finding a relationship, although yes, that would help, but simply because it'll make their life more enjoyable and fulfilling without having any sort of romantic partners. We need to allow these men to open up without being so heavily judged and insulted, so we can get a better understanding of how they got to that point in the first place. And then we can try to create a society that helps men never get to that point or get out of that point when they are there, and give them what they actually need. Which, like I stated before, is usually just some acknowledgement, validation, and love. Thank you to all the patrons on this channel on Patreon. If you don't know what this is, it's a platform. On June 21st, 2022, I uploaded the video, The Rise of Incels, to my YouTube channel. What proceeded afterwards was an explosion of views.
Time to catch on the video because I really need a pee, so I had to pause it, but then I had it on like double speed. Catch up. So I've just about caught it. I think it was pretty quick, but
Cool.
yeah. I mean, yeah, like some of the parts, I actually forgot some of the parts because there's quite a few parts of the video, but yeah, I agree with like the general premise of what he came on to say. Yeah, one point I can remember I want to say is that like when it comes to like studies, you know, like I'm point out the studies. The reason why I'm doing it because I'm skeptical of studies, and I don't necessarily think like it could well be that it's much worse than the studies indicate, right? I don't always say you should follow studies because I know that how, you know, we know in recent times, right, with medical stuff, you can't always trust what the studies say because they could be manipulated or it could be flawed. But the reason why is because it's the hypocrisy of the black pill community where when a certain study suits their narrative, then they're like, oh, we must believe the study, the science says this, oh, I know the studies, classic we waffles, right? But when it's something that doesn't point their way, then it's like, oh, we don't see that. We don't acknowledge that study. So it's more just pointing out the hypocrisy and like,
Well, I don't know,
actually,
man,
there's
if they do
plenty of evidence which disproves the black pill. Actually, one of the and again in relation to what gets women like more and more evidence, like personality matters and behavioural things on the studies. So what I'm disproving is that the black pill goes back to the Face and LMS days where when they would have debates with other manosphere people with other views, the one trump card that I noticed they always use that, oh, but the studies support us. This is why we're different. You have personal antidotes, we have personal antidotes.
Yeah, but they stopped saying that now.
But no, Wheat Waffles did it earlier this year.
Yeah, but no, but Wheat Waffles does his research very, very well. He will pick good studies that support his...
Because he cited the 2018 study and didn't even mention the 2021. And I was surprised that Volsh didn't know, because he's normally quite good on studies. I don't like it,
but Wheat Waffles uses... He now uses the new 60% single. That's all he needs.
And there's actually... yeah, I know one of the other videos that I... wasn't again easier, but it was a bodybuilder, and he was critiquing Wheat Waffles, saying that he doesn't know studies because Wheat Waffles was like downplaying the importance of like getting ripped in your body, saying doesn't like gym setting basically, saying you'll become a gym cell, and he rips into Wheat Waffles, says look, what he's saying isn't scientific, he doesn't know the studies. So again, no, I don't think he does know the studies, and this is the point.
To me, he does it quite well.
The studies are on their side when actually when you look into it, no, they're not. Now, are the studies accurate?
Well,
no,
the new one, the 60% is a very strong study in their favour, in my opinion. I know you don't agree, but for me it is, man.
No, hold on. I haven't disputed the 60% claim, but I mean, what this guy said in the video, I don't know what the sample size was. So, I mean, as we know, that on any study, that actually the sample size is important, and a lot of time. No one checks to see, well, was it a lot of people? Like, we don't know for sure if it's accurate because it depends on the sample size. But I said that the problem with the 60%, I'm saying that it may well be on that study it was 60%, but the reasons behind it, for example, why there's a big gap between men and women, is because of the age difference. But I didn't actually even disagree necessarily that it could well, that it's 60%. But what I was like saying is a lot of people, oh, it's 30% women, 60% men. It means that all the women are like sharing chat. I was like, no. When you think about it, no, it's because of other things. Like I say, there's a difference that a lot of those men that
you're not gonna like this comment from Sex Addict. None of these types of videos acknowledge it's all about looks, lols. Well, he did kind of acknowledge it though. He did in the video. He did say he admitted the top 20% guys.
You need to play the video that I was recommended. It's from that addicts date site guy, and he'll go into studies where it certainly proves, gives more evidence that it's not just looks.
No, it's not. But by the way, Sex Addict is wrong.
Looks, that's insane.
But the guy did say in the video, he said like the top 20% guys are getting it in. That's what's going on. He did say that in the video.
It's always been like that in history. So it's what's changed.
Yeah.
It's always been that. And that's what the study, the 2018 one, recognised that it actually, when it said that, guys at the top get more proportionate sex than guys below, right, per that 20%. They get like above 20%. But it's been like that since like decades.
Yeah,
so
since time immemorial.
The reason, because the thing is like, okay, so it's always been hard. Well, guys in the 80s had it hard, and guys in the 90s had it hard. So what's the difference? We just complain more now? Is that the difference?
Pretty much. We've been given the means to complain on a fucking global technological scale.
People maybe suffered in silence more, whereas now we have the means to like congregate and rant, complain. I totally agree with that point. Yeah, it could well be the case. So, but you know full well, like I said, that the narrative is more like, well, we're the hard done bys, things have got way harder.
Yeah, no, I don't agree with that.
They'll say, well, you had it easy like 10, 15 years ago, which isn't true. But when we look at it, if the guys at the top have had like a domination on the markets, it's always been like that. And in fact, in ancient times, when you have like the big harems and that, it was far worse. Like, it's actually got more egalitarian, more of an equal society than it used to be. When you would have like a warlord who would have access to the majority of the women. So, no, it's the reason why the average guy is struggling more today. We can't look at, well, it's Chad No, chats haven't got an increase on proportion. Market. It hasn't gone up. Yes, they have a decent amount, but it's not like it's increased. That's not the reason why
Hasn't
you're
changed that
struggling.
much.
No, yeah, it's not the reason the average dude is finding it harder now. We have to look at other factors.
Yeah.
One is simply if it's going to continue that women are opting out of sex, for example, if that keeps going up, or like Dashboard says, doesn't matter who you are. If women just don't want men, game over. That's the real black pill. You know, whether you're Chad or you're Nufidu for whatever you want to argue. If women just like, nah, we don't want men no more. That's game over.
Game over, yeah.
You can.
Who the hell is this Moon?
Want, right? Sorry.
Rick Perry suggested Moon. I don't know who that is. I'm gonna quickly look him up.
Yeah, you should. Well, there was two videos I want to watch this short, right? Now, one is it's very short, it's only like 6 minutes. I'm interested to know your opinion on it. The titles and the question is. Statement. There are no incels.
Oh, no. That's ridiculous. Is that woman?
It's only a 6 minute video. It's only a 6 minute video.
Okay. Let's have a look.
I'll put it on the Discord.
Oh, cool. Yeah, Moon looks pretty good. The title is... Again, just read it out to me.
Okay, so... There are no incels.
There are no incels.
Only a small channel. I don't even know how the hell this came up.
Yeah.
Algorithm.
It's the what's her name? I forgot her name. She's got a really silly name. I've seen this before. Kidology, yeah. I've seen this before.
It's not strictly about her, but he's using her as an example. Like,
does he agree with her?
No.
Oh, thank God for that.
No.
Yeah,
He's
no.
just using her talking to Destiny as an example for his
What, you want us to watch it?
Yeah, it's only a short one. I just want to see your views on it, because this, like...
I hate... No, I don't want to say I hate Kidology, but I hate that video she did.
Well, it's not her. Like, it's
Isn't
not
it?
like
Alright.
her talking point.
Alright.
Yeah, if you're worried it's like, it's something, but no, it's not that. It's not supporting her.
Sussiest cat.
I'm sorry.
I started watching it already.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's big delay.
From weirdos on R9K to what some would refer to as a hate group now, we've been inundated at this point with everyone giving their takes on how evil they are or how they're just misunderstood guys that need Daddy Peterson to whisper in their ear. But the whole framing around celibacy and access to sex just completely obscures the actual issues at hand. In a recent exchange between the streamer Destiny and the YouTuber Kidology, that becomes particularly apparent. In this video, I'm gonna use that discussion to explain why I think incels don't really exist, and how the people who refer to themselves as such are really just facing the same problems everyone else faces, but are simply unable to cope with them, which presents a different issue entirely. Alright, so to preface this with an explanation for anyone uninitiated, Kidology, who's made a lot of videos on culture, politics, and relationship stuff, recently talked to the political streamer / debater Destiny, which led to a kind of funny exchange in which Kidology called herself an incel.
Do you claim that you're an incel?
That I'm involuntarily celibate?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, I don't want to be celibate.
I'm sorry, it's just one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my life, so I want to hear you.
Destiny is of course being very dismissive of that notion. We've all heard the typical women can't be incels, but particularly with Kidology, who's an attractive young woman, it seems pretty silly for her to call herself that. Incels typically being these unattractive loner men who can't get with anyone. On its face, Destiny is obviously right. Just mechanically speaking, Kidology could very easily find someone to, well, do the deed. Kidology reasons, though, that not only has she sustained some kind of sexual trauma, leaving her somewhat incapable, on which she expounded in a video following the exchange, she also brings up something very interesting. According to her, it's not that she can't find someone to have sex with, but that she can't find someone to have the kind of sex she wants with.
You'd be a volcel. You're voluntarily celibate, right? Because if you wanted to just bang somebody, it would be easy to do that.
I just want the sex to be good. I want it to be, a meaningful experience.
And this is the reason I'm talking about this at all. I'm not particularly interested in either Destiny or Kidology. I think I've emailed Destiny on random topics like once or twice in the past. Outside of that, it's not really my sphere. But this exchange really highlights how completely useless the term incel is, and how it doesn't address the actual issues at all. Technically speaking, most incels could probably also find people to have sex with. I mean, just open up Grindr and you'll very quickly find someone to have intercourse with if it's really just about having sex. But that's obviously not the kind of sex most incels are looking for. I'm sure most could also probably find some truly disfigured person or something if it's that bad. Running with Destiny's definition, technically they are choosing to be celibate by not doing those things, but that's obviously not what is being signaled when you call yourself an incel. It's not that they don't have access to the act of sex itself, just like Kidology. They just can't find the kind of sex they want. And sure, you could still say that Kidology is pickier than the average incel. Most women probably are when it comes to selecting a partner, due to higher risks in regards to facing sexual violence and so on, but that doesn't diminish her preferences. Either she's just as much of an incel as any basement-dwelling loser who calls themselves that, or no one is. To give a more reasonable version of the Grindr argument, many incels also argue, for instance, that getting an escort doesn't count, which again shows that they don't just want to have sex. Incel then doesn't refer to a lack of access to sex, it just means that you're simply not able to attract the people you want to attract. In calling yourself an incel, you're effectively just saying that you're unhappy with your prospects. And you know what? Most people feel that way. Everyone wishes they could be with people out of their league. Everyone wishes they could be more attractive, confident, and successful than they are. Even women do. It's a normal feeling to be unhappy with your lot in life. It's what drives most of us forward. But what really sets someone who considers themselves an incel apart though, is taking that frustration and molding your whole being around it. It is probably easier to find a hookup as a woman, because men happen to be less picky about their sexual partners. So what? Do you really think that makes all the problems go away? It's a fun activity, sure, but having access to it isn't what gives you a fulfilling life. I mean, Kidology technically has access to that, and she considers herself an incel all the same. Most importantly though, that means the word itself has no meaning at all. No one is really involuntarily celibate. You're just saying you want things you can't have. That doesn't make you some special group or whatever. You've simply discovered the human condition, and are unable to cope with that reality. So to summarize, saying that Kidology doesn't fit the definition of an incel just because she technically could find someone to have sex with, even if they don't match her preferences, would also mean the same for 99% of incels, since they could also technically find a way to have sex outside of their preference. Meaning, the word in its common usage is obviously not just referring to a lack of sex. Incel then simply seems to refer to being unhappy with your dating prospects in general, wanting to have access to people outside of your league in some way or another, which is pretty much everyone. So the term basically means nothing at all. People who commonly refer to themselves as incels just seem unable to cope with reality, which, more than anything, just points to a mental health issue rather than some problem with the sexual marketplace. In doing away with the label of incel, it becomes much easier to tackle the actual issues people have. One person might struggle with social anxiety and has a hard time approaching people. Someone else can't do basic hygiene. And someone else entirely might just be a slob in general. Those are issues in and of themselves that make someone highly unattractive, sure, but they should also be tackled on their own terms, separate from just wanting sex or a partner. You should strive to get your shit together for your own sake. Sex will not solve anyone's problems, and neither will a relationship, especially looking at people in their teens and early 20s who seemingly have resigned from life just because they can't get some punani. Spend your energy on getting good at something, or enjoying things, and not chasing some unrealistic social media version of what you think sex or love looks like. This is the first part in a 3-part series I'm doing on incels and online identity. The second part next week will tackle how the internet has created incels, and the third part in the weeks following that will be on niche identity groups on the internet more broadly. Spoilers? Internet bad, I guess, sort of. But yeah, see ya.
Yeah, not bad, I guess. I didn't hate it. It's like, I mean, I don't agree fully, but I suppose she has a fair point.
Yeah. I didn't quite hear what you said. Yeah.
I just said, yeah, I mean, if I was honest, like, she had a fair point. Was it she, he, whatever? She had a fair point.
I don't know. The voice is a bit weird. Yeah, I almost thought to warn you. Yeah, it's a bit. I don't know, but I'm guessing it's a dude. But
I mean,
yeah, it's more the message. Yeah,
Kidology is a femcel. I even acknowledge this. Like, okay, femcels are a thing.
Well, she's a vol. I think the argument is that
femcels are vol
cells, celibate, isn't it? Yeah, it's voluntary celibate, not incel. Which is, but it's what it's kind of is like. You know, it's what I said, like, incels just want to make it their identity because technically anyone pretty much can get sex, even if you just pay for it, right? It's not about... This is why TFL is always the better acronym. Bill Greathouse was right, incel is stupid. It's TFL because then you don't fall to the critique of, well,
I like true cell. I like true like proper true sales. I have big respect for those guys, man.
I still think Truth or Slime is the best because it's about loneliness. It's because it's more about finding someone you can connect with and be in a relationship. It's not just about sex. Because if you make it just about sex, it's easy to debunk. Because you can just, well, you can get sex.
True.
If you really want sex, you can pay
I
for
suppose
it.
you got a
If
point.
you really lower your standards and just shag anyone, you can get it. If you go gay, if it really is just get sex, so there's many ways people can like dismiss your argument and then not feel sorry for you. But
it's a fair
if
point.
you make it like, well, no, it's not. I'm not just like a hound dog. No, I'm not just one. I want like a relationship. I want someone to be close to. Then you have more of an argument because people will like be more sympathetic towards it and be like, okay, so it's about like finding the right partner for you and that, you know. And then there's more of an argument. So yeah, I think there's a lot of like truths, and especially people like to put their identity around incel, you know, and claim that victim status and just kind of So that's why like when I hear incel, I think that's a good video, and I've got it in my head, and I think it is bullshit. Like technically, we're all like everyone's like pretty much a volcel, really. Like if we think about it, because you can get someone, but it's whether you're happy with that person. That's, you know, it's like, and this is where the argument then would shift to, do we really have realistic standards, or is it because of like porn? Is it because of like the media and that our standards of what we expect women to look like coinciding with women becoming fatter as the years go by, right? Big obesity epidemic in the West. Whether now like many men's standards are too high.
Yeah. Well,
because that's going to make it really hard then, isn't it? If you have high standards and thoughts, that it's going to be a bottleneck because there's less slim women, and I think people don't say this enough. There's not that many slim women. Like obesity is a huge part of this issue. People have become like very fat, and because men want, you know, a lot of men don't want fat women. Well, the problem is there's a lot less thin women.
Demographics. But
in that sense, and so the problem is that people, and also I think porn's a big thing because like, you know, most porn that these guys, they're very pretty, right? Like they're not getting like ugly women to do it. So again, like I've heard this spoke about before, in the ancient times in the village, you would maybe see 1.5 attractive women in your lifetime, maybe, and you'd think she's probably drop dead gorgeous. But now you're like inundated with airbrushed models. I mean, this is also why like people can get, if they're on social media too much, they get these unrealistic beauty expectations because everyone's on filters and lighting and that. No one looks as good as what they're portraying, and unfortunately, that could mean that men, they don't realize this, but their standards, they would actually be more willing to go with a girl who's technically in their league, but now they don't realize that their standards are actually unrealistic.
No, maybe.
That's gonna make a big
immature. I mean, that's why I get annoyed with a lot of incels these days, because a lot of them are just
you know it, you hear it as well, don't you?
I agree. Well, what's pretty interesting is what Rick Perry said. He's telling us about, a little bit about his history. He said, I noticed women change almost overnight from September 2019. I had 2 women concurrent polyamorous relationships for 12 years. The main one was for 23 years. By 2020, the first had died. By 2021, the next became irredeemably irreconcilable. I don't actually know what that means, that word means. After being a normal Gen X, being in constant relationships for 27 years, society shift transformed my orientation to women almost overnight. I have no desire for a sexual relationship since 2020. Well, you're pretty old, Rick. Actually, I think Rick is slightly older than me.
Yeah, Gen X, alright. You're still technically
I'm still technically a millennial, it's true.
You're on like the cusp of it.
I'm on the cusp of Gen X and millennial,
yeah.
But damn,
that's
pretty interesting, Rick. Thanks for telling us that. I mean,
I definitely think
he was profiting. But Rick is a good-looking guy, though, so, like, you know, guys could say, like, how did he do it? But Rick was probably a Chad, you know. I mean, Rick, he seemed like a good-looking guy to me.
Chad doesn't stop you ending up being a woman.
So. It's true. But Rick was taking drastic. Rick is a very modern, up to date Chad. He knows. He knows the way to go. But Rick has given up on women altogether, though. So I guess at his age, the testosterone isn't. I wonder, is Rick actually stopped his testosterone, or has it just naturally gone? Fuck, man, if I was with 2 hot women for 20 years, I think I would have got it all out of my system as well. And one of them died. Jesus. What did she die of? A broken heart. Maybe she died of a broken heart.
That's obviously harsh. Yeah, do we have time to respond to the other one? The other's only 10 minutes.
Oh, fuck's sake, what's this one? I want to cut off the stream, to be honest.
Alex, dates.
No, we don't. That guy's so boring, man. That guy's going to put me to fuck his... Didn't we watch that already?
No. This came out 4 days ago.
Let me give it...
I've got it on the summary bit, so it won't be boring. It won't be all the studies and the hard data.
Alright.
It's just at the summary point.
This guy's so fucking boring, man.
Yes, he's dry, but he is the best when it comes to breaking down the studies. I found. He like will explain it to you and go into depth. Okay, he won't just like flash up and not give you a source and won't...
Mental health, right?
Mental health and relationship status, and he was going over a study.
Cut to the most interesting bit.
Yeah, I've got a timestamp. 8:15 is when he talks about the summary, like the conclusion. 8:15 into the video. Then you'll skip all the parts where he goes over the morphology of the study. So
What's up, guys?
Oh, he's changed his look.
Yeah, he reminds me a bit. You know the game Hatred.
Yeah, he looks like a European.
To baseline, or they shift the baseline down, and that's kind of their new baseline. You know, in a sense, worst case scenario, they never truly get over it. So a quick summary of this. I guess we're doing a very, very short video today. The relationship here between this is bidirectional, okay? So it's not just one thing or the other. It's not I'm sad or unhappy or I have poor mental health because I can't be in a relationship, and if I had a relationship, everything would be perfect. That's probably not the case, you know. Not being able to get into a relationship at all, it is closely related to behavior and personality and all of that. Despite the extent to which people say everything is looks or looks whatever, you know, we know that many behavioral traits, many personality traits, many different variables, however you look at them, are associated with the likelihood of entering a relationship. So we know it isn't just your face, okay? But at the same time, we do know that mental health issues limit people from entering relationships, and so do other issues of neurodivergence that are not like depression, right? That are not what individuals might think of as a mental health problem. An example of that is autism, that individuals with autism often have difficulty finding and forming relationships. Then when individuals get into relationships, if they have some kind of neurodivergence, if they have some kind of a mental illness, depression, whatever the case may be, their relationships may suffer for that, right? So this is very important because it's not simply like, oh, if I could get into a relationship, I would feel great and my life would be better and everything would be fine. That's probably not what's going to happen, because relationship satisfaction also matters, not just relationship status. Most of what we looked at here is an associations with relationship satisfaction. You know, being in a terrible relationship in many ways is worse for you than being alone. So being alone is not, you know, the big fear, and it might not always seem that way for individuals who have really struggled to form relationships and who have been very, very isolated, especially for young men and women who are often very lonely at that age, you know, and that are going to be much more likely to be single than older individuals who have had relationship experiences. They may feel incredibly isolated, but at the same time, if you've been through some bad relationships, you'll find people out there who have, and they'll tell you, I would rather just stay single forever than ever experience that again. So you have these two different perspectives on it, but the point is that a romantic relationship isn't going to fix your mental health, it's not going to solve it, but it is associated with it specifically if you have a good relationship, right? So not being in a relationship in that sense as well, we could understand it to mean that it probably is damaging to mental health, you know. We are a very social species, right? We evolved to be extremely cooperative. And, you know, we talk about human nature often. Is man good or evil? That sort of a thing. Human beings are one of the most pro-social and cooperative mammals that there are, right? We engage in very systematic acts of violence. Of course, war, we're very good at that because we're very intelligent relative to other animals. I'm sure, you know, if a tiger could do it, maybe it would also. But we engage in extreme levels of cooperation, just going through the motions on a day-to-day basis. We seem to love to be around other people. Most people do. And of course, there are individual differences here, you know, introversion, extroversion. But being isolated entirely and not having contact with other human beings, not having any friends, not having any romantic partner, it's probably not, you know, the way that the human mind has evolved to work. And because as I mentioned in the past video, because reproduction in humans may be secondary from the evolutionary perspective to a desire for love, companionship, and all of that. And I'll explain what I mean by that, okay? And I've used this example too much now. I'm going to use it again. So a salmon, the fish, it has an instinct to swim up the river and fertilize some eggs. That's it. Human beings don't seem to have as strong of an instinct to reproduce. What do humans have? A desire to have sex. They feel lust, feel love, right? A desire to touch other people, a desire to love and not be alone. But those lead to sex. So those are evolutionary adaptations that facilitate reproduction, right? That's how we do it. The salmon just knows and it swims upstream, squirting its stuff on the eggs, and that's the salmon. But that's not how we do it, right? We have these desires that precede reproduction and facilitate it. Those are emotions in us now, you know, wherever they came from in the evolutionary perspective, they're there now. They're needs that we need to fulfill. You've seen something like Maslow's hierarchy, right? The pyramid. And you see, you know, that pretty early on in that, it's like, okay, yeah, like love, right? Companionship, something like that is supposedly part of that. So people feel pretty bad when they aren't able to do that. And yeah, of course, that can contribute to poor mental health. But at the same time, poor mental health makes people behave in ways that make them in many ways undesirable as romantic partners, that make them unfit as romantic partners if they get into a relationship. And I got a lot of trouble. I didn't get in real trouble. I just got a bunch of woke people that got mad at me on Twitter for saying this. But basically, you know, that individuals who do have mental health issues, if they're not getting picked in a relationship, you know, the other people that are not picking them, they might be making a decision that's like smart for them, right? If you think about someone with major depression, very severe depression, and they can't get out of bed, so they lose their job, and they don't brush their teeth every day because they're so depressed. They have no libido because they're so depressed, you know, and all of that. Then is that going to be a desirable person to have a relationship? No, you know, they're probably not going to go out and date very much, so they're much more likely to be single. If that happens when they're in a relationship, they might find that their partner loses attraction in them very quickly as well. You get a lot of problems like this with mental health in relationships, and it's not very fair. And people that don't understand mental health and psychology very well, that look at things through a very political lens, they might be saying like, oh, that's super unfair, right? That's, how can you stigmatize them? That's very ableist or whatever. But the fact is, you know, attraction to other people, it's not very PC, right? It doesn't really care about something like that. There's a lot of very non-PC things, politically correct, right, about who you're attracted to and what traits you like, and it's not always going to be like fair and egalitarian and that sort of a thing. So people that suffer from mental health issues, people who may be neurodivergent and all of that, they may really struggle with relationships, and it isn't their fault at all, you know. And if I say, okay, you know, you can see why other people do not pick them, that doesn't even make, it's not even a moral statement that means, for example, like, yeah, you deserve not to be picked or you deserve to be alone. That's not what anyone is saying at all. We're just simply saying we know what things people find attractive in romantic partners relatively well. And we know what things make relationships function over time relatively well, right? And we know that different kinds of mental health issues get in the way of that. Okay? And that's just, you know, a description of things. I'm not telling you the way.
Yeah. Great. Yeah, I mean, I could have said the same thing, I guess, you know. I mean,
yeah, it's very, very telling, right? No, the reason why it's very important, because obviously, again, he's saying, look, it's not all about looks, like personality matters, behaviour matters in studies, and mental health is what
I mean, a fucking, an LMS guy would, I would actually consider myself an LMS guy. An LMS guy would agree with him completely. It's like, yeah, it's true.
Well,
no, yes, because... But when have you seen a top LMS guy that's been depressed? Never. When have you seen a guy that's earning big bank, has got holding down a good job, being depressed?
Hold on.
When have you seen a successful guy being depressed? You don't see it, man. The guys are all successful.
A successful guy being
depressed.
Yeah, but that's not what he was getting at here.
That's part of what he was saying. It's part of what he was saying.
Okay, but
if you're some depressed loser, women don't like you. It's fucking obvious. It's obvious.
Yeah, if you have and of course, if you have bad mental health issues, that's going to make it harder for you to achieve success.
Of course.
But that's the point he was making. Is that the mental health, your behavioural things are what is a stumbling.
It's part of it, yeah.
Big stumbling block. No, big stumbling.
By the way, he did concede. He did concede at the beginning that looks were a small part. Were also important.
Yeah, of course. I've always said this about him. He's fair. Like he said, looks. Yes, I've said this to you before in another study where he said that a portion of it was looks, but personality is also a portion of it. And when it comes, the problem with the looksism community is that they'll say it's like all looks, and they'll laugh at the fact if you say it's personality and behavioural, like, or if you say it's mental health.
Yeah.
And the second point I want to touch on, they said very good, because I heard it again from Todd in his stream.
What did
and
he say?
people, not just Todd, I don't want to think that, a lot of people like him think that the cure to all of their ills and their motivation life, I think, is if they had, and probably maybe you, to be honest, and I know Dashboard the same, is if only they could get a woman.
If they could get a good woman. And I'm not sure if I've told you this before.
Let me finish, because you keep interrupting me in this night. Let me finish. Let me make my point, and then I'll just shut up for like minutes, right? So, the second point was that he was claiming that a lot, if you were to like get in a relationship, that these mental health issues, the problems
he said a bad
life,
relationship.
right? Hold on. The problems you have in life stem from you being on your own. But that if you could get, because you hear many people say, look, if I could just get a girlfriend, then everything would, be different in my life. Whereas he's pointed out, that's not true. Your mental health issues will not just suddenly go away. Now, if you're in a good relationship, like he did note, they could improve. But the problem is, it's going to be hard to have a successful relationship because one of the big factors in it is like someone's prior mental health issues, their behavioral issues. So the odds are going to be very much against you that you can keep it going sweet. And the downside is going to be if that relationship starts to go bad, which most relationships do eventually, to be honest, then your mental health is really going to start to tank. And when you have a breakup, it's going to hit you for 6, and you could potentially really go off the deep end. Because the problem is, if you
can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question? Have you heard the phrase before? It's better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all.
Yeah, but I've heard of it, but like he explained, there's two camps for him.
Do you agree with that phrase? You don't agree with it. You don't agree with that phrase.
Not to the guys who have killed themselves after they come out of a relationship. No. Was it better for them to have loved someone? No, clearly not.
Leave everyone out. Just you. I want your personal answer.
I think the leading cause of suicide is relationship breakdown, marriage breakdown. So clearly, that's not true. That statement, is it? If that was true, then
I would disagree.
You wouldn't have like the leading cause of suicide being that. Well, you can search. The leading cause of suicide is marital breakdown.
I'm gonna have to search
this.
this.
It's not necessarily true, and that's what he explained. There's two camps of thought. Of course, if you don't have it, you're gonna go, no.
I think you're wrong again, Bill. I'm afraid to say.
Okay, but like he indicated that study says that. His opinion,
his study, what he was saying was sound. You're saying something different to what he's saying.
I'm literally phrasing what he's
you
saying.
are not.
Well, I don't know what you're watching. You can watch it back now. Play it back now.
He said looks played some small part at the beginning, but mental health is a big factor. Women don't like guys with mental health problems that are fucking depressed losers, basically. Yep. All fine. I'm on board with all that shit. I'm in complete agreement.
But that wasn't what you asked me. You asked me, is it better to have loved and lost? And I said, it's not that simple. I said, well, no, because it depends how you handle the breakup. And the point he made was that you'll have some guys who are like, look, I really want a relationship with the guys who are lonely. But he pointed out that actually you could be far, with what study indicate, that you could be in a worse state mentally when you come out of the relationship than being lonely, and you could be better off. And he said many guys will tell you that, I would rather be single forever than ever go through that horrible toxic relationship I've been through. So he acknowledged there's two sides to the fork.
You are wrong. Our survey put work pressure 32% and then financial pressure 31% as the two biggest. Alright, listen to what I'm saying.
32% is higher than
31%. 32% is financial pressures. 31%. Can you? Fucking hell, man! You're fucking. Can you be quiet for a minute? Is that alright? I mean, 32%. Please. Yeah, but I interrupt you with like stuff like this because like I don't. It's better for you because I don't want you to keep on going in your erroneous path, man. This is good for both of us here.
You're delusional, mate. You cut me off.
I'm delusional.
You're crying now. I'm interrupting you.
I'm crying.
Alright, I'm gonna search it because.
Alright, let me just read. Can I please read it without being interrupted? 32% financial pressure, 31%. Sorry, 32% work pressure, 31% financial pressure. The two biggest issues affecting men's mental health leading to suicide. There's no mention of breakup.
How does that? okay, even if it's not, how does that debunk my point? The point is, you said it's better.
It completely
to love
debunks.
Is it? So people who would kill themselves from breakup, it's better for them to love. That was my point. It's not, is it?
Okay, there's a flip side to what. Let me put the flip side to you, which you never consider. It's funny, you never consider this. The guy that has never loved at all that kills himself.
Yeah, but
it's
that's
the same.
far less than people are
No,
married.
it's not.
That is not happening on. No.
It's happening on a mass scale.
Even,
Todd.
That video, he said
fucking.
Even in the video you just watched.
Fucking those black cell manosphere guys that killed themselves.
Listen to the video. Did you?
I did. Did you?
Claimed in it that if you have a relationship breakdown, this is going to have a negative effect
yes.
on your mental
and
health.
if you're some fucking incel for life, that is even going to have a worse negative effect on you. No, yes. That is not what he said. He never even explored that. He didn't even explore that part.
No, it's the opposite. Because he even said
you are wrong. I'm sorry, you are wrong. You're wrong on this one, Bill, again. He does not even mention that. So it's no point. It's irrelevant what you're saying. What you're saying...
I don't know.
He did not mention it. Can you listen to my point? Can you listen? Alright, I'm going to explain to you again because you never understand. It's really frustrating. It really makes me...
You disagree with his point, but...
I don't. I disagree with you.
You're lying at this point. You're lying or you're delirious.
No, if I'd asked him, if he was in the room right now, he'd probably say, yeah, I didn't actually look into the actual pure true cell incels that killed themselves. I didn't actually look into them, but that's probably high as well. That's what he'd say.
He's talking from a mental health study. I don't know how to make it more clearer here. He's talking the findings of this study.
It didn't mention suicide or anything like that.
Worsening. Well, how do you think you get to the point of suicide, Icecap?
The worst suicides come from lonely men. Nothing to do with breakups. Nothing to do with mourning a fucking breakup.
You're not answering my question.
Your question is bullshit. You never think of the other guy. It's really frustrating.
You interrupt me constantly. It's so frustrating.
I'm just so sick of your crap. That's why. You don't consider the other argument.
The truth, Icecat. It's triggering you. I don't know why. I don't know why.
It's not. You're twisting the guy's words. You're twisting his words into something that's not true.
Play it back. Play it back now, and we'll see if I'm twisting my words. Okay?
Alright, what?
Let's see. Play it back.
What part?
So it's the part where he was talking about, like, I guess what we're disputing,
Lost in
arguing
translation?
about is like
Fixed. Phew. Blurry photos and fixed. Distant strangers. Oh my goodness.
Oh really? He
Switch to
literally answers that
Pixel,
question.
the only phones engineered by Google.
Does he?
He talks about relationships and breakups, about whether it's better to go.
Yeah, but does he ever talk about guys that have never had relationships, never had nothing like that?
Yes, he touched on it. Look,
oh really? Oh really? Okay.
Any parts you can imagine for your good
I did.
ideas.
If he
7
touches, if he speaks
industrial
about that, I'll
3D
apologise
printing
to you,
technologies
alright?
at
I'll
your
definitely
fingertips
apologise.
with Summetry.
I need to hear it so I can write it apart, so I can tell you the time so you don't have to watch it all again. Just give me
freaking boring as fuck, man.
You're not even interested.
Them longer to return to baseline, or they shift the baseline down, and that's kind of their new baseline. You know, in a sense, worst case scenario, they never truly get over it.
At no point did he even talk about men that have never been in a relationship ever. He never talked about that. You made it up in your fucking crazy head. I don't think he did.
So a quick summary of this. I guess we're doing a very, very short video today. The relationship here between this is bidirectional, okay? So it's not just one thing or the other. It's not I'm sad or unhappy or I have poor mental health because I can't be in a relationship, and if I had a relationship, everything would be perfect. That's probably not the case, you know. Not being able to get into a relationship at all, it is closely related to behavior and personality and all of that. Despite the extent to which people say everything is looks or looks whatever, you know, we know that many behavioral traits, many personality traits, many different variables, however you look at them, are associated with the likelihood of entering a relationship. So we know it.
9:55.
Yeah, it's when he first makes the first comment about actually being in a relationship.
Status.
I
Most of it we
understand
looked
his
at here.
point. However, he never once compared the flip side of a guy that has never been in a relationship.
No, he does
did
comment
not.
on it because he
Is a
acknowledges two camps. If you listen to it, if you just play it,
and associations with relationship satisfaction. You know, being in a terrible relationship in many ways is worse for you than being alone. So being alone is not, you know, the big fear. And
is that what you mean when you said that being in a bad relationship is worse than being alone? Is that
That's
the bit
the
you mean?
first point he talks about. He does talk about it a bit more. It's like the next minute or two. I don't know the exact point because he, you know, rambles a bit.
I mean, that is debatable. That, you know, I'm on, you know, I could debate that one for a bit.
It might not always seem that way for individuals who have really struggled to form relationships and who have been very, very isolated, especially for young men and women who are often very lonely at that age, you know, and that are going to be much more likely to be single than older individuals who have had relationship experiences. They may feel incredibly isolated, but at the same time, if you've been through some bad relationships, you'll find people out there who have, and they'll tell you, I would rather just stay single forever than ever experience that again. So you have these two different perspectives on it, but the point is that a romantic...
Yeah. So he kind of takes two perspectives, just like I do. But this is your problem, Bill. You are unable to take two perspectives.
Yeah, but that's what I said he said, and you made a big thing
I
out
mean,
of
should
it.
we keep
I
going?
just
Does he touch on it more?
I don't know if he mentions it again because obviously it was like 4 or 5
So
minutes.
what he said, right?
Just make
So
sure,
let me recap what he said. He said there are guys that have been in a relationship, a bad one, that have come out of it and said, I want to be single forever now. I was in such a bad relationship.
Yeah.
And he said the guy that has never been in a relationship, basically, he may
look at the other side. Yeah.
He may think, oh, that's crazy, but that happens as well. But even the guy that's on the other side that's never been in a relationship, to him, he can't understand that. So his problem also is serious. But he said there's two perspectives. He literally said there's two perspectives on this. Can you accept that there are two more or less equal perceptions?
I was trying to say it to you when you were interrupting me, before it started to get more heated. Yeah, I said he was coming in from both sides.
So we're in agreement. Okay. Fantastic. Well,
but the point is, can you understand why it was a silly question to ask me? Is it better to have loved than lost? And it's not as simple as that, is it?
Well, for me, I would answer that question. Yes.
It's not because but let me answer it.
Your answer would be no. Okay, that's fine. We're different guys. We're different guys. You say no, I say yes. All right, that's it. Why can't you leave it at that? Why do you want to fight more? Why can't you just
constantly interrupt and you don't even let me answer the question?
But I don't understand. It's done. It's done. Why can't you accept your answer is yes? My answer is yes. Your answer is no.
Just tell me when you finish.
Can you answer my question first? Why can't you accept?
I can't because you don't let me get a word out.
Well, my question is this.
You need to let me speak.
Okay, go on. Speak.
You can't stop it, can you? Tell me when you.
Well, I don't. My question is more important than your question, though. That's why.
Oh, okay. Well, you can't even let me answer a question. What's the point?
Okay. Well, I'll repeat.
You're not going to let me answer.
Why can't you accept?
You just can't.
That my answer is yes and your answer is no, and leave it at that. I do. I let it go.
Any sense, I expect. You asked me a
well,
question.
that makes sense to you because you're not good at understanding these things. You do have some sort of problem.
When you're finished. Like, you're just talking over me because you don't want me to answer your point. If you're gonna ask me a question, let the person answer. Don't just keep talking over me.
I did, and you didn't. You didn't give an answer, which I knew you wouldn't.
You're literally just interrupting 24/7. So can I answer it now?
You can. Go ahead.
Okay, so you need to mute yourself so you don't feel tempted to
go ahead, answer. Quit the bullshit and just answer. Okay. My mind is too quick for you.
You're still talking.
Yeah, shut up and answer then.
Touche to you. Ask the question.
Just
and then
answer.
Be quiet and let me answer. So
just
answer.
Just answer.
Ask the question. What's the question?
The question is this, right? To the question, to the phrase, is it better to have loved and lost than never loved at all? I would answer yes to that. You would answer no. Why can't you just...
It depends. It depends.
You'd answer it depends. Fine.
Yes.
Okay, done. As far as I'm concerned, the debate is over.
No, it depends depends how bad the breakup is, right? Because
Great.
obviously, if it's a bad breakup, a toxic breakup, you could be in a worse mental state than before, which
Okay.
is what this guy's trying to say. But if it was like an amicable and it didn't affect you at all, then maybe, yeah, it was better because it broke up a period of loneliness. So
Right.
that's what I'm saying, it depends. And that was, all this argument could have been stopped if you just let me get that point out. I mean, that's it. No big thing. You know, it's just not black and white, is it?
It is to
Like a lot
me.
of things.
My answer, that doesn't stop my,
maybe
that
you've
doesn't
got
change my
autism,
answer.
I'm sorry, because not life is shades of grey. It's not black and white.
To me, my answer will never be anything other than yes, because that is like the worst fate for me, I think. For me, like, I was going to kill myself as well, you know? It's something you can't understand. I know it's something you can't understand.
Yeah, but you're one person, Ice Cat.
Some
You're one
guys...
person, maybe to
Yeah.
you, but not everyone thinks like you. This is... Don't
Yeah,
forget,
but
your whole existence, your main
a
thing
lot
was
of
like
guys
based
do.
around women. Based around women, but not everyone's like that. That's the thing you seem to forget.
Yeah, but not everyone's like you either. There are guys like me.
No,
and they...
I'm not saying that.
The
I'm
thing
not,
is,
yeah, but I'm
I
not claiming
accept
that.
that guys
you're
are
the one
different.
Who claims that, though. You're the one
No,
who claims that.
no, you're wrong. Because I accept...
No, how am I wrong? Because you're the one who get a definitive yes. I'm the one that says it depends.
Because for me, it's a yes.
Right? Yeah, but you're the one who's...
You're the guy that
absolutely-
depends. I accept your answer. I accept his answer. It could be no, some random guy over there. I accept some other guy who's going to say yes, agree with me. I accept all that shit. You're the one that's not able to accept that, it seems. It really
No, I
seems that way.
literally said it depends. So I'm open to the circumstances of the individual.
So you're open to my answer is yes, it's never going to change. You should be open to that.
You literally said the answer would always be yes. You're taking the absolutist
Yes.
position. I'm the
My
one
answer
looking
will
at
always
you.
be yes. It will be.
Yeah,
It
so that's
just
a
will
very
be.
straightforward answer. Where it's like it's always going to be yes.
Yeah.
So you're thinking like more of a Borg mind, where for most men it's well no, because men are different, not all the same. You're the one who's assuming that everyone thinks like you, so therefore it's
I
always going to
don't.
be yes.
I know again. You got it wrong because I said my answer is yes, but I accept another guy's answer may be different. I've said it about 15
Yeah, so for
times.
you personally, yes, but to
Exactly.
ask that question is about level.
Thank you.
Okay, I understand that. So it's a little
Yes.
misunderstanding because I'm
Yeah, there
thinking on
is, man.
general
That's
terms.
why.
For
Like,
you personally, yes, no problem. But I'm like, if
Alright.
you're like saying like for people in general, it's gonna depend, isn't it? Like,
Can you-
It's not fair to say yes.
can you read Rick Perry's chat? Rick Perry's been saying a lot of stuff.
From what point do you want?
He seems to be in agreement with you, Rick Perry.
Well, maybe like me, he's had some bad breakups.
Well, he
so-
said the NHS killed his ex-girlfriend or something. Which is condolences,
yeah.
Rick Perry.
But yeah,
life goes
condolences,
on, I
that's
guess.
bad.
I hope
Yeah,
you'll
I mean,
be okay.
and I guess this is like the point I was trying to get to before we got like heated.
Oh,
Like,
Jesus
you know,
Christ, man.
there is. I know, like to you, from your perspective, it seems hard to believe, but honestly, it can be worse if you're in a real bad relationship. And
I know.
many guys, I know.
They're
I mean,
bad.
I admit, I don't know the official suicide. I may have been wrong on that, but I do know it is one of. I remember reading it's one of the leading causes.
Yeah, but I'm sure one of the
suicide.
leading ones also is like chronic singleness and loneliness and never getting women ever.
like-
I'm sure that is also one of them.
True, yes. Well, he said on this, right? Loneliness does make your mental health worse, right? But a sudden jolt, like losing a loved one, is going to be like a big hit, like a big down. And when people go through like a manic episode or depression or an attempt of suicide,
shit.
actual suicide, it's normally because they've had a sudden dip in their mental health condition, right? That's what they call it, a crisis episode. So, and I know when I've loved someone, right? And I've never been close to like, chronically depressed or, I shouldn't say that word for ropey, temp, but even when like I had like a bad break, I lost someone I loved. It
Button
hit me
bashing.
like a ton of bricks, and it was my lowest point I've ever been at, and my mind was in places that I didn't think I could go to before. So you imagine someone who has like a bad mental health issues prior to the relationship gets that, oh finally I've got a girl, and they're loving life. But then that relationship over time goes bad, and it becomes toxic, and it ends, and they lose the person they loved. That could send them over the edge. And this is why, like you're saying, like sometimes the hurt. Because to be honest, as much as it felt good being in love with someone, the hurt outweighed the love. Like the heartbreak was worse. And I'll tell you, when I lost one of my girlfriends, I wished I could have my memory raised.
Yeah, I will never understand that.
The pain was that bad. I just wanted to forget her. I just wanted, because it was like the more you thought about like that individual, it would bring it all back like a dagger to your chest. It was horrible. Like, and I mean, I'm over all that now, I think. But yeah, so this is why, like, I mean, again, if you've never been in that, then yeah, okay, you're not gonna be able to, relate because obviously you've not experienced it.
I think we're two different guys, which is like what I always say to you. Like, I think we're two different types of guys, you know.
Yeah, and that's fair. Yeah, it is. We do come in from two different angles, which in some ways makes it more interesting rather than just like agreeing, like just patting each other on the back. Like, yeah, we have different life experiences. So I guess I suppose the takeaway from it, from our like going back and forth, is that people will have different priorities in life, and people have different things that they shall we say, different fates that are deemed worse. Like, some people may say, well, that's the worst fate to be in, and then another person's like, well, no, I think that fate to be in is the worst. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Like,
yeah.
Because I've experienced very heartbreak. I'm like cautious of it because I know how bad it can be. Whereas you're just like, well, I see it as a privilege if you've had to have that heartbreak because it's meant you be in a relationship of that level. So yeah, I can understand like obviously both side of things, but I'm just saying like it is a warning that like this guy touches on, and the only thing I would say is like you say, that if you have mental health issues prior to a relationship, it could be the worst thing for you. It's just careful what you wish for, right? Like
I don't know about that, man. Yeah, but I've had mental health issues since I was fucking 11 years old, man. So.
Yeah, and I sympathise with you for that. Mental health is horrible, but to have bad mental health is horrible. One of the worst things you can have. But what I'm saying is like, okay, can I give you a hypothetical scenario? So let's say like you get into a relationship and you fall in love and everything's great, right? You're loving life and it's everything you dreamed of.
That's happened to me, by the way.
So in a relationship.
That has happened. I have had that, babe.
Oh, so you have had heartbreak? I thought you said you didn't.
No, but I've never felt that way. Like I said, I'm glad I had that experience. I never thought like I wanted to erase my memory before. This is the funny thing. I'm the opposite of you, because when I had my years of loneliness, I thought, oh fucking hell, I wish I could erase all those wasted years of rotting loneliness. I could just erase all that memory. It's literally the opposite of you. So
but hold on. So you didn't. I'm just curious. So when that relationship ended, right?
Yeah.
And you really loved that person.
Yeah.
And I imagine you didn't want it to end, right?
Correct. I did not.
And you didn't get like heartbroken. It didn't.
But I got over
make you feel like absolute shit. Like.
No, I felt way worse than fucking what I felt there. I mean.
Sorry.
No.
I mean, you felt way worse after like heartbreak, or.
That is not. I mean, that to me is not. It wasn't that bad. It was bad, yeah, it hurt, but I got over it.
So maybe you're kind of more like a woman who can move on from relationships.
Maybe you're like a woman. I mean.
No. Men tend to struggle far more with breakups than women. I mean, are you disputing that now?
Well, thing is, I've had serious heartbreaks.
Way to move on to a partner quicker. They can get over relationships
well,
quicker than men can.
When I said I was 11.
So?
My first major heartbreak was when I was 11. That's what it was. So
you understand my point. I'm not saying
I understand it.
I'm saying that, and it's actually a positive trait because
it is a positive trait. Yeah.
Yeah. So don't get triggered and get on the defensive.
I'm not getting triggered. I think you're getting triggered.
It is more like what women have. They have this advantage over men that if there's a breakup, it tends to be the man who's going to be like distraught from it. More like. Sometimes women.
I was distraught. I was distraught, but I'm not coming out with a kind of a pussy shit that you're coming out with. Jesus.
Well, I'm trying to get to the bottom of it. So you were heartbroken.
Yes.
Because you're giving conflicted messages. Okay, so you did feel really bad.
I did feel really bad, but I'm still glad I had the fucking experience.
Okay, so you weren't that heartbroken.
No.
That's the point I'm making.
Wrong, I'm just
well,
stronger than you, that's all. I'm just a stronger man than you. Because I've been through more shit than you have.
Okay, you can posture and make fun of me all you want.
Yeah, I'm going to
get
make fun of you
truth.
because you're just
Okay,
like...
because you're triggered, I understand, Ice Cap, but still...
Yeah,
I'm
well, you
trying to
trigger
get
anyone, man.
I'm not even trying to insult you here, but you are so defensive on this issue.
Because you're so annoying.
It's amazing why this triggers. Look, if you are heartbroken or not, I'm just wondering. I don't know why you're getting your chip on the shoulder about this. It's very bizarre.
Well, for example...
Maybe we shouldn't talk about it, because obviously it's triggering you. Like,
You're the kind of guy that would
I'm
like...
just curious, that's all. Like, if it's uncomfortable, then fine, switch the subject. But
Well, you're like... For example, I had very like...
annoy you. You think I'm like trying to get you here? I'm not. Like,
I had very bad ingrown toenails when I was growing up. That was worse pain, you know, than what I felt getting split up with my girlfriend, you know.
okay, well then, like I say, that's nowhere near what men when they are really heartbroken experience. So
That's bullshit.
Why you can't
All you know is your own experience
so
at the end of
who's now
the day.
trying to claim that they downplay everyone else's experiences? You
That's
are.
what you're doing.
You're saying that.
The thing is,
I just said you've equated heartbreak to being less than an ingrown toenail, and I said no. For some men, the mental pain of being broken up from someone they love is far worse than that.
According to who?
Say, no, it's not. No, it's not.
According to who?
Many people. Look, you're saying that being heartbroken and losing a partner doesn't really destroy people. Is this your position?
I don't have a strong opinion on it, to be honest. I want to change the subject.
Well, if you don't have a strong opinion, why are you making such a big thing and getting all huffy-tuffy and annoyed? Like, what the hell's wrong with you,
why
man?
are you fucking
If it doesn't
talking
matter,
about
then
it?
stop being, like, triggered like a little baby. I mean, come on.
Really? I'm the
This is
baby?
ridiculous.
You're the guy
You're
saying
like
like...
insulting me, you're downplaying when people get heartbroken, fine, and it doesn't matter to you? Well, it doesn't seem that way. You're just very bizarre tonight, man. Maybe we should
You're
just end the
bizarre
stream, because
every night.
You're being very weird.
You're like bizarre every night, man.
Okay, well fine, don't talk to me anymore. It's fine, like, I don't mind. Like, if
I
you're
want to
gonna be
talk
like
to
this,
Dead
it's just-
Doom. I
it's
wish
just pointless.
like
You
me,
can't
you, and
talk
Dead
with
Doom could
You
get
can't
a
talk
talk.
with you about issues because it seems to trigger you so much, so, okay.
I just wish me and Dead Doomer and you could have a big talk. You know, that would be my dream.
Well, like I say again, you want to critique me and that's your dream. I think you've got bigger
Why
issues,
don't you
mate.
talk to Rick Perry?
You really
He
need to
obviously
sort
wants to
yourself
talk.
out. So I think we should end the stream because
Well, I'm gonna play Tekken a bit. I want to play at least till I get one win. You know.
but I think you should really analyse what's been said in this.
I think you should.
Try to
I
change
think
your
you
perspective. Oh, I do,
Oh, I
but I
think you
think on this I've definitely got the healthier perspective. I'm willing
Yeah,
to
but
bet money
I'm
on
not
this,
a
so,
healthy
yeah.
guy. You know, I've always been
Exactly,
mentally.
and I feel sorry for you for that, but you're not
Yeah,
willing to listen.
I
You're
feel
not
sorry
willing to
for
just
you.
feel like
You're so
insult me.
unable. You're so narrow-minded. You can't think like some other
But
guy.
you're the one who just admitted you're in a bad place, so...
Yeah, but so are you.
I'm trying to help you, but you won't listen, so what can I do?
Yeah, I'm trying to help you, but you don't listen either. It's really
You're not
funny.
offering any hope. You're the one
No,
who's
I
not
am.
the doomer, Ice Cat.
No, you're the
one who
fucking
just
doomer.
seems to want to
You've
prove
gone
to me
fucking
that the black
asexual.
pill's real.
You're like
You should just give up and stuff like that. I'm the one who's trying to...
bullshit. You ain't trying to do shit.
to come out of it.
How are you trying to do anything? You won't even accept a fucking. You won't even accept like a like. You don't even want to find a woman on Tinder. So, I'm never gonna beat this guy.
I mean, this is not even related, but the point is, you're the one who's always trying to like prove like the black pill's right. Oh, this
No,
and
I'm
that.
not.
And I say, no,
I'm
it's just
not. I am not. I don't like the black pill, really. I mean, I accept there's some
You
truth
spend
to it.
like all your time in it.
No, I don't.
People like even people know this. Even on Toss, I
What?
wasn't even on Toss
What?
Stream for
How
long. People are
would
saying,
you
"Oh,
know?
you're like inserters, and you're always spending your time doing this, and that, and that." I mean, come on, Ice Cat. You're known to
No.
me. This is why a lot of people don't like you.
I
Because
know
you're known
me.
to always be in this community.
They don't like me. Why you? Fucking no one
Because
likes
they
you,
think
man.
you're like two-faced. They think you're
I'm
like a snake. They
two-faced.
think like you butter up to people on incel streams, then you'll make fun of them on stuff like incel tears. This is why you got a bad reputation. This is why. And yeah,
I'm
I'm a
two-faced.
nobody in the community, Ice Cat, but I've never pretended
What?
to be someone, whereas you have tried to be. I've
Not
never,
really,
I
no.
don't care.
I've just
You're
literally,
the
it's a
only person
hobby of
that I
mine.
bothered to like stream with, and if I don't stream with you, I
Yeah,
don't
you
care.
can
I'm
hang
not
up.
losing
You
any
can hang
sleep
up
over
right
it.
now. You know, that's fine. I will hang up soon.
The point is like, I'm saying you're far more committed and sucked into
No,
this
I'm not
community.
committed to anything.
And I've tried to convince you to come
No,
out of
you're
it,
just
and you don't
you're
seem
making
to want
assumptions. You're really making assumptions.
Yes, I am making assumptions because I've seen enough of what's people
No,
in this
you
community.
have not.
But if you want to spend the rest of your life in it, fine. I give up. Because you're obviously very hostile once I start to break it down. And then you attack me. It's like, fuck
shit.
you, man.
Oh, fuck.
You gotta be like that. Fuck you, no wonder
Well-
you're in the position you are. Like, come on, man. You've been, like, insulting and shit. And I was just asking questions. So, fuck you, man.
I want a woman, you know. I want, like, a girlfriend. It's just, it's
No, the
like
problem
simple.
is that you're obsessed by it. You're, like, that's the only thing that matters to you. That's the
Well,
problem.
it's the
You
one.
don't even
It's
see
because
it.
it's an important. It's a fucking important thing, man.
Yes, it's important, but not the only thing. But the problem is, it's like the all-encompassing thing. That's the problem with people like you. Maybe, you know, Dashboard Todd as well. And because you base your whole life around it, if it's not going well, then your life's in the shit. And the ironically thing is you overlook all the other aspects of your life. And you're not even the worst at this. I'm saying you're better than other people, but other people are far worse. And they just give up on everything. And that's the thing, like, you know, the rotter, the dogmatter, I really despise that.
Do you?
You know, and that's why I try not... Yeah, because that's why, like, when you're showing me videos of the depressed unwanted man, I don't really want to know.
But why are you then?
I don't wanna
You're
get sucked
so.
into that.
You don't want to meet a woman on Tinder when it's so, as easy as sending me a photo.
Meet a woman on Tinder? I've never said that. Like,
You're
you just seem to
really
take things-
you're doing
you just seem to
everything.
make things up, to be honest. I've never said that.
But you sent me. I mean, you
I
sent
said
me
that I
those pics.
struggle. I said I don't get anything. That's what I said. I never
Yeah,
said,
but when
oh,
I
yeah,
offered to help you, you're
I'm not, like, claiming...
you're non-willing to do it. You don't want to.
Well,
You've gone MGTOW. You're a different guy to me, man. You're a very different guy to me.
Yes, I agree. But what I'm saying is the reason why I was a bit uncomfortable because it felt a little weird to get like someone else to do a Tinder for you. That's why, to be honest, I was a bit hesitant. It just felt a bit weird. Like, why would you want to create Tinder? Like, why would you want to bother spending your time doing a Tinder experiment? This is why, again, I'm saying, like, you're too far in this community. You should be not wasting your time doing a Tinder experiment for me and concentrating on your own life.
I do that as well, though. I do
Yeah, but
concentrate.
you've obviously got time to do something like that. I would never afford that. No one else has ever asked to do that.
Loads of people do it in the community.
Bizarre. Like, and so I
It's
did think,
not
like,
bizarre at all. Loads of people.
Should I really have someone else like doing Tinder and that? And I thought, well, what's it going to lead to as well? Because like, obviously, yeah, I could be lying and have plenty of matches, but why would I do that? Oh yeah, I'm turning down all these women. No, I'm not like a.
You got a few matches, but it's not going to go far without. It's locked you out without the fourth picture. But you have.
What do you mean?
It won't.
Just like talk or something.
It won't let me see the full profiles. It says you need to upload one more picture.
Yeah, but why does that make? You can just message it, right?
I do,
We're
but
just seeing
it's
if
not.
they were actually.
It's really gonna help.
That's the whole point of it.
It's really gonna help if you send me that fourth picture because then I can see their profile. I can chat about their pictures. You know. I can't. There's no point to me doing it unless you send the fourth
I
picture.
can do that, I guess, but like, you know, I'm just saying like. I know I have the Tinder. You can say I'm a liar if you want. I don't care. But the point is, like, I don't get anything.
Yeah, but your pictures were fucking awful. Your pictures were awful. It's just selfies.
Sorry, that's my face. Maybe it's just my face.
It's literally autistic like bedroom selfies, man. They're no good.
That's my face. Okay, maybe I'm just ugly. Whatever you want to say, man.
No.
I don't mind. But what can I do? That's me.
You gotta, like I told you, you need pictures when you're out somewhere, when you're like with friends maybe, or anyone, like pictures at landmarks,
yeah, maybe I can get
fun pictures.
photos I've had people.
I mean, the fact that you don't even know this stuff, I can tell you're like full MGTOW kind of.
Well, no, it's just actually maybe maybe I'm more black-pilled when it comes to online dating. That I just see it as I know it's not unlikely to lead to much in the West on online dating, and I don't think it's a good avenue for guys, especially guys my age, to be getting women. You know, I've always maintained that what screws me over is my age now. Yeah, we're past it. I think Nuclear Redfield's right when I saw a video where he says once you're over 35, you know, you've kind of had your time. You're getting too old.
Yeah,
you know,
but
we're old. That's our problem. And I lost the social circles I had when I was younger, and also not having a job, not having a 9-to-5 job, right? Because we don't have the stereotypical people you can meet in your workplace. This makes it harder. Because other people have maybe co-workers, they have friends in their social circles, maybe they meet up in random functions. We don't have any of that, so what can we resort to? Cold approach or dating apps? Dating apps are very hard, like very low. You know, we all have disagreements, right? But we can all agree that online dating in the West is pretty rubbish, right? Like, it's very hard, and it's not a good way. So you need to try and find women off it. The problem is that, and this is not just incels, like anyone once to go 35, it's harder to make new friends. So if you've lost your friends, which I have for various reasons, you do become isolated. So yeah, you know, I've become isolated, and you could say, well, you know, you need to do this and that, but it does get harder as you get older. It is a valid
But you
reason.
gotta keep going, man. It's like,
if I was 20, it would be a different story. But I'm getting close to 38, man. Like,
so
I do acknowledge that. You know, I try not to be defeatist, but the one thing that is the real black pill is the age pill. Aging is horrible. Like, it is, you know.
Yeah, but it
it's
happens
something
to everyone,
that
man.
is really black pilling, you know, getting older, and you have to accept that at some point your time's over. Like, I don't feel like going out clubbing all the time. I don't have the energy like I did when I was in my young 20s. So, in some ways, you know, when you're saying like not doing anything and like critique, when I have, most of the critique is the frustration is with young dudes who don't do anything, right? Like, if a guy's like 50 or whatever and he's given up, it's not so bad, is it? Right? As long as he's not just giving up on, he's just gonna rot in an apartment or something, you know. But I'm saying, like, if he kind of says, look, I had my time, you know, so I'm too old now.
Had my time.
So, but in terms of Tinder, like I say, I mean, but are you actually gonna get someone by?
What, me
or is it
or
going to
you?
be like an obese woman who lives in Scotland?
Yeah.
And got to fly to get it? I mean, come on, what are we doing now? In which
Yeah,
case
but see,
it's-
I would go for that. I mean, you're right. I am worse than most guys, man. I am a legit incel, man. It hurts me to say it. It's
not
shameful.
to do with it's not incel. It's that you're more.
It's shameful.
I don't want to say it like this because you might get annoyed. Like,
No,
I don't
say
mean
it.
I'm not trying to be nasty.
Say it.
You're more desperate for it.
Exactly. That's
Okay, yeah.
That's a synonym. That's the same translation, man.
I couldn't think of another way to say it. Yeah, that's the only way I could think.
I
of
accept
You're more
it.
desperate for it.
I am a legit incel, man, and it hurts. It sucks, but it is what it is. You know, I can't stop it. Oh, for
Well, you're not
fuck's sake.
technically an incel. Like, let's get out of the way. That's like you're trying to use it again as your identity. You're
Yeah,
not
but
an incel.
I'm more of an incel than you, right?
No, well, no one's really an incel. We can all.
I know no one's an incel, but if we had to like break down levels of incel, right?
But that's autistic. Come on.
Is it?
Levels of incel. How do
Yeah.
we even gauge that? That's
Well,
very arbitrary, right?
I would go
you don't
for
like
some
people having different opinions. Well, that's going to be
obese.
based on
I
just
would go for an overweight woman in Scotland. You wouldn't. So by that measure,
Okay, so can I trump you if I was like, okay, but I'd fuck a dude? So what point do we stop? No, because you realise what point do you stop? What?
yeah,
Point
you,
where you
yeah.
understand?
If you'd fuck a dude, then you're definitely more incel than I am. I mean, by the way, there has been cases of that.
You understand my argument. The point is we can always lower the bar. At what point do you stop? That's what I'm saying. Like,
I don't know, man. I don't
just go
even
to a
wanna.
hooker. We can all just go to hookers.
Yeah,
So
but we don't have infinite money, man. I mean, you can say
you don't
it,
have to
but
bang every day.
yeah, but what if you want to go like every week?
Are you saying that if you've not had sex like once a week, you're an incel?
What about once a month?
If you have sex once a month, you're not an incel, are you?
No.
No, so you could afford like a hooker. Most people, not everyone can, I know, but
Okay.
like bang a hooker once a month, right? It's not that much money.
Suppose not.
So no one's that's what I mean. No one's technically an incel. Now, are you TFL? Yeah.
No.
Are you like?
No, I'm not TFL. No.
TFL means you're lonely. It means your truth was lonely. You can't get into a relationship.
I'm not lonely. I'm not lonely at all.
Okay. Okay, if you're not lonely, okay.
I'm incel.
Well, okay, so it's hold on. But you were saying before, like, the effects of mental health, like incels, they feel lonely and that. So you're not suffering from that.
I'm not lonely. I have you. I have my friends. I have guys.
So being incel doesn't make people feel lonely then, or at least not you, no.
Some incels are lonely. I'm not.
But not you personally.
No.
Oh, so it's not really. That's good. So it's not having that negative effect on the mental health then.
Wait, did that? The only reason though I'm not lonely is because I spent the last 10 plus years working on my social life and social skills. That's the only reason I'm not lonely.
And that should be the message for other guys, and that to avoid feeling
I'm
loneliness.
still incel though. I'm still
bad
an
feelings.
incel.
But you said it's not affecting your mental health as much, so that's a good way to people to distract from the negative effects of being lonely. Because that's why incels normally suffer, is because they're feeling lonely. That's what it is. Because you can get sex, just go to a hooker. So it's about loneliness, feeling that connection with someone.
Hey, look.
That's what it is.
Rick's going into his Christian spiel.
I'm just reading it. Yeah, but no, Rick per agent's not great because if only it was just lower your libido.
See, Rick thinks differently to us. You gotta think fucking Amalt, Namalt, man. Not all men are like that, you know. I say Nawalt, I say Namalt and Nawalt.
Yeah, but hold on, no, aging is a definitive. It's a degenerative disease, so it is objectively bad. You're talking about objective truths and subjective truths. Well, aging is an objective truth. It's bad.
Okay, answer me this. I got a new question for you.
Okay, are you gonna let me answer?
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Would you want to live forever?
That's a good question.
It is a good question.
It's something I have thought about before.
I think it's a very polarizing question.
It's a good question. I like it because I'm into philosophy and that. So yeah, it's a philosophical question. Would you theoretically want to live forever? Because I guess it depends on like the situation, because it's a very hard question to compute. I could give the simple answer, which is, I guess if I'm just gonna say yes without thinking.
Really?
Yes.
See, a lot of guys would say no.
I'd be honest. I'd tell you why. It's because I have a fear of death.
Okay.
So, of course, I guess the simple answer would be yes, because I have a fear of death. Because, living forever. I used to always, I know it sounds silly when I was younger, I'd think of, vampires. You'd, see stuff, and they had the ability to live forever. And I was like, as a kid, I was always like, oh, yeah, if I could turn to a vampire, then I would not age anymore and I'd live forever. Because I don't like the idea of aging. Why? Because it's associated with greater likelihood of dying, So, it's, the simple answer is yes. But, of course, you could get into the weeds and say, yeah, but would you really want to live forever when you think of what it could potentially do to your mind? Because it could drive you insane. Because how would you be able to handle having all these memories from a life? You could get into the nitty gritty, and maybe actually it's not a good thing. But on the basis, sure. Now we're not taking into account if there's a higher being or religion, because of course, if it's you can live forever, but then you're going to miss out on some sort of theoretical afterlife, then my answer might not be the same. But yeah, if you were to ask me point blank, I would have to say yes. I'm guessing your answer is different.
I'd have to think about it. I might. I might say yes as well.
Death?
But I mean, you're a fan of Motorhead, right? I mean, you know the band Motorhead, right?
Yeah. I like
you know a famous line from his song, "The Ace of Spades." You like the song. You're a fan of the song. You told me.
Oh yeah. I know that song.
So in that song, he literally says, "I don't want to live forever."
True. Yeah, he does. Yeah.
So he's one example, and one of them, some YouTubers and stuff like that. They
So my answer's gone. Sorry.
They have said no. They've been asked the same question, and a lot of them have said no, to my surprise. So.
Okay. Yeah, I would personally say yes. What would the people in the chat say? Ice Skate, you seem to be a bit on the fence, right? You said you weren't sure. No. Right. Is it yes
I think they're talking amongst themselves.
No, but I mean, what was your answer again? If you were given the choice to live forever.
If I had given the choice to live forever, if someone asked me now, I might say yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's my answer as well. Probably yes. You know. Unless they give a certain condition, then maybe it would be different. But yeah, sex addict. Would you want to live forever? Or
Charles Bukowski. Are they even listening?
of course you could say, well, is it living forever without aging? Because maybe if you keep aging, you're somehow alive. That could be quite torturous, right? Once you get to about like 120, 130 and you're still alive, but your body keeps aging. So you become like a walking corpse. Maybe then, yeah, it wouldn't be a good thing.
Why is it doing that?
If you could theoretically not age anymore, so let's say you stay young, or even middle age, and that, or even like you're 50s, 60s, and you just can live forever, then yeah, I think I would side with yes.
Wow.
Okay, he answered. He said no. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, because it would. I'd have to have a serious think about it. It would. Maybe I'd say no
question.
because
Everyone's going to have a different standpoint. I think also it depends if religion will obviously influence your answer.
Yeah.
The more you believe in religion, the less you have to fear about death, right?
Yeah, exactly. I like to think of myself.
Do you know what scares me about death the most? Since we're on the subject.
What?
It's not actually dying. It's the thought of not being ceasing to exist for eternity. It's like you realise just how everything will just go by in such a long period of time, infinitive amount of time, and you never are conscious again. Like we're conscious now. We're experiencing this. When you're dead, that's like it. Never anything ever again. You will never experience anything ever again, and that's just like for eternity. It's just boom. You don't exist anymore. And I don't know why that just freaks me out. Like that sort of
it's pretty scary.
It started as a child when I was first informed about death, and it just really freaked me out. I remember it just me personally, yeah, I've always had this.
Why is it doing that?
Fear of death, yeah.
Of course.
That's why we could get into that. Maybe religion is people's way of coping with death. If you want to talk about copes. Humans have had this innate once they've acknowledged, because I've heard it said before that we are the only species that's aware of that we die, and therefore that presents problems because the fear of death, knowing you're going to die, and of course it could lead to terrible nihilism. None of this matters because we're just not even a click of the fingers. Our existence in the grand scheme of time, right? And
did you ever listen to the rapper Tupac?
A little bit. Be honest, not really.
He had this song, and it was called It was called My only fear of death is coming back reincarnated. It's a pretty good song.
It depends what you reincarnate as. Reincarnation.
It was in the chorus. It was all scratched up. It's my only fear of death is coming back reincarnated. Just over again.
You're not really a football fan, but there was an England football manager who got sacked because he had the belief that disabled people, because he believed in reincarnation, right? And he believed disabled people were reincarnated as disabled because they were bad people in the previous life. Got sacked.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Glenn Hoddle was his name.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah. That's fucked up, man.
It's like karma, right? Because they did bad things in the previous life, they come back.
Yeah.
You could be reincarnated as maybe I'm trying to get the name right. Is it Squirmy or is it Grubs? Which one's the?
Yeah, true.
But which one is it? Which one's the woman? What's
I think Squirmy is the man.
Yeah, well, it would make sense, wouldn't it? Well, I don't know, because called a grub as well,
I think
right?
Grubs is the woman.
Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
What is it you're trying to do?
No, I'm just having a look at some of the art.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I do know if it up on screen.
Well, it's...
Very old Siggy's, and I'm beautiful.
Oh, fuck. The art is
yeah,
gone.
that's some pretty trippy stuff what you're saying, Rick Perry. I mean, I don't know.
That sucks. Sucks balls.
To answer that. What do you mean sex addict? Mickey Rourke and Buck were good buddies, I think. Oh no, sex addict. I didn't realise sex addict. Sex addict actually, it seems like he's quite a looks this guy. Maybe if I was Chad, I'd have a different scale of things. I don't know. It wouldn't necessarily have to be Chad. I don't think. Like, you could come back as a powerful person, quite a rich, influential person. I mean, if you come back as, it also depends. You could go back in further in time and be like a mongrel or someone like a warlord, a king.
Some sort of Time Lord.
Great control. Sorry?
Could be some sort of Time Lord.
Yeah, Doctor Who, right?
Yeah, that's what it was. I think it's time to end the stream, man. It's been like...
Yeah, it's late.
3:16.
Okay.
Well... yeah, I'm gonna have a cigarette now as well.
Oh, you're smoking? I thought you...
Well, I've got a vape, but I'm going to roll myself. I'm going to do exactly what Rick's doing.
Oh, an actual cigarette.
Damn, look, he's getting spiritual. I effectively died in 2020. I'm no more than a revenant. Undead. A ghost walking through the landscape. Damn. You like that song, Ghost, by Ella Henderson? That's a good song. Killed by death. Are they all talking amongst themselves? I don't want to live forever. Wow, that's pretty heavy. That's deep stuff, man, for a July conversation, you know. But this is it. This is the real. We're living it, man. I guess religion will help. But on that note, like, let's try and keep things positive, because I always try to, you know, if you want to pray to God or Jesus or anyone, or just ask for some spiritual help, you know, that tends to helps me anyway.